They really played their hearts.
The dominant team, yet they've managed to slip and let Ferrari get back into contention.
Yeah, too many times, really. They've had more unreliability than Ferrari, which is absolutely astounding. But they've also made some errors in their pit strategy in some cases. And Ferrari have just had the most outstanding year, you have to admit it. And here they are both, the Irvine and Schumacher close together. I think we're going to see a stunning piece of driving here. We've got Fisichella well up there. Him driving in the rain is outstanding. I think Alesi is good. It's going to be outstanding to see this race.
Well, they're talking about strategy, wet weather choice. Some have gone for full wet, some will have gone for the intermediate. We've seen Michael Schumacher's doing that. They're talking about 3 stops in the rain. Of course, that depends really whether it continues raining or whether the rain might finally lift and clear away. They were talking about an hour into the race, all this lifting up and then blue skies. And weather at Spa is so fickle, Derek. You know many years how you've started a race like this and then suddenly...
Well, exactly, and of course this is the problem. And this is Mike Schumacher's out there on intermediate. He's on the less wet tyre, and of course if it dries out, he's going to be on the correct tyre. Remember, he was one of the last cars to join the grid, as he often does. Somehow I think he just does that to out-fumble the others. But of course, he might not be able to make many moves because the guys around him are going to be slipping and sliding, so he may as well stay there in those tyres and not make an immediate move to go by. But as the track starts to get a better line, I think you'll see Schumacher move up. I think you'll see Villeneuve do a very good job, but it's such a difficult circuit because there are places where the water does run across the track. I think you'll see just a little bit there.
And this is on the way up the hill. This is up through Blanchimont. One of the other problems is there are a lot of trees. We go through forests here in Spa-Francorchamps, a little bit like Hockenheim in Germany. The spray goes up, it gets trapped by the trees, it doesn't get a chance to get away, and it falls back down. This coming up into the bus stop chicane, Hakkinen on that pole position. This is a 44-lap Grand Prix this afternoon, a 4.3-mile circuit. And in these conditions, it's going to be a very long afternoon's work indeed.
Yes, it really is. I mean, it's going to be really... One just cannot visualize just how tough it is for these drivers. And it's funny, when you're waiting for the race, you sort of go from one foot to the other. It makes you rock to and fro. You're really very nervous about it. It's a very difficult thing for these drivers.
Well, I think you actually hit the nut in the head. You said visualize. That's going to be the big trouble. I mean, we're going to watch 22 cars leave the grid, head up maybe 300 yards up into Stavelot. The visibility will be bad enough, but when they then make the drop downhill, what's that like?
Well, the drop downhill, of course, is not going to be quite so dramatic, of course, in these conditions. But it is amazing as you go down the water, the visibility. These guys, of course, are wearing, they've got an extra strip in front of their visor to keep so they can peel it off. But the problem is sometimes you get moisture getting down between the two and you get bad visibility there as well. Problem is also, is you just don't know how bad the visibility is until you tear off that strip.
Well, there must be real frustration. Mika Hakkinen on pole position, and about 5 feet in front of his car, you can see a big puddle. Everybody in place, let's listen to V10 engines at full RPM. Watch the lights on the top of the screen, they'll come on in sequence. When 5 are on, they will go out between 3/4 and a second. Oh, look at that, Irvine makes a great start, but Michael Schumacher comes across, but Mika Hakkinen he consolidates that pole position, but look, it's Irvine has made his way through. Jacques Villeneuve also into Stavelot.
What about Villeneuve's turn? Because Michael couldn't get by Hakkinen, and of course, what a great... Oh, in the wall, somebody's had an accident. There'll be a real... Look, there's an accident there. One of the McLarens.
And a Jordan and a Ferrari, and it is absolute carnage. This is something we thought we would never see. This is absolutely terrible. At the start, as the cars came out of Stavelot, there must have been contact. We've got virtually the entire field involved in this accident. There are certainly more than 15 cars. The race will be red flagged. I don't even think we're going to see a start for maybe half an hour at best. It's going to be, there's the red flag. Now, all the teams here have got one spare car. We just hope there, we're looking at Jean Alesi at the top of the picture. He's still in his car. Pedro Diniz is out. This is the problem we feared wouldn't happen. It happened coming out of the La Source hairpin bend. There must have been contact. We couldn't see it. That set off a chain reaction. You got it, Derek, very quickly.
Oh, look, he's obviously hurt his arm a little bit. He's holding his arm there. But here comes Mika Salo coming, David Coulthard. No at least they're running back. That means we're all right, boys, and I'm really glad about that. But can you believe it? I've never seen such carnage ever on the start line. Well, it wasn't a start line, it was just after turn one. But of course, this is they get the power on coming out of that hairpin, out of La Source.
Rubens Barrichello, and he's getting some medical attention. I think he's got a crack on his left hand. Maybe he's looking down at the wrist. The wrist is the thing that always gets, when the wheel whips in your hand.
Absolutely. I saw Eddie Irvine limping. When Eddie went by the camera just now, you noticed he had a wheel in front of his face sitting in the cockpit as he went down the hill. Just astonishing. Now, who knows what happened? I remember seeing a car at the beginning hit that wall on the left-hand side as we look at it on the right, in fact.
Well, we get a look again at the start, and well, this is looking, in fact, down as the cars drop down towards Eau Rouge. This La Source hairpin bend first gear, putting the power on, Derek. It's so easy just to let the back get away from you once it breaks away.
Well, that's it. And of course, they're coming out of a turn. They're also desperate. Somebody gets a look at the state of that McLaren. That is a real mess. And of course, the spare car is set up for Mika Häkkinen. He has the right. Let's see what happens. It's way back. David had that appalling start, slowing everybody. Look at David going across. He hit that wall hard. My goodness, look at the wheels bouncing back. Now look out for Eddie Irvine, eventually coming by with a wheel in the cockpit. There's David going the other way with no wheels on. Jordan gets away, Damon gets away, but Ralph is in there. And look at Eddie, right down the middle. Oh my goodness gracious, and John Alesi and Johnny Herbert right in the middle of it. And here's Eddie coming down. You watch that wheel.
That is very frightening indeed.
Look at that wheel, right on top of him. Look at it, right on top of his face as he comes down. And then David goes back the other way. Oh, you can't believe it. I've never seen such a car.
Well, looking at the pictures, it's clearly David Coulthard came out of La Source hairpin. Whether he had a mechanical failure, whether he just put too much power on the car, snapped to the right. He went across track, hit the retaining wall, then bounced back out. Eddie Irvine walking back up. The limp that we saw him suffering from as he made his way up the hill, it seems to maybe ease. But his sister Sonia is the physio for the Ferrari team, and I'm quite certain that Eddie will be in for a quick bout of physio with Sonia Irvine, and she'll get him right quicker than anybody.
Well, none of these drivers want to show that there's anything wrong with them because they want to get in the spare car and go for it. And of course, it's whether David will be allowed to get in Häkkinen's car. One assumes he will. This is Eddie talking. Is that? I don't know if that's Jean Todt who's walking with him, but one of them. No, it's a marshal walking with him. But nevertheless, it was a pretty nasty experience for all of them. I'm staggered how nobody was hurt.
Well, Jos Verstappen, funnily enough, got through all that. He's managed to make his way around the lap. If you look at Olivier Panis and both the Prost
were out in that accident. That is it. Now, who's going to get the car now, I wonder?
I think it'll depend on who's in the grid or who the car was set up for. But looking at those pictures, it reminds me, Derek, I was involved in a Grand Prix way back 1973, the British Grand Prix at Silverstone. Jody Scheckter, who went on to be the world champion, the last Ferrari world champion, he lost control of his car at the end of the first lap coming through Woodcote Corner, and he set off a chain reaction very similar to what we've just seen. Now, the difference was, of course, that was in bone-dry conditions, but the damage to cars, and luckily to very few drivers, Andrea Adamic was one of the few drivers that was actually injured, but the strength and the integrity of the current Grand Prix car certainly has saved many drivers serious injury. Look at Irvine's Ferrari. Let's look again. Coulthard on the right of screen. All of a sudden, maybe he caught that white line. Then he just dives across the track. He goes across the front of Fisichella, bounces back. You can see that Frenson's Williams is just going to go through that. He might get through it.
David's going around like a powerboat. He just zooms.
Damon Hill gets through. Ralph Schumacher gets trapped. Johnny Herbert, he gets spun around. Then Barrichello hits a wheel, knocks a wheel, hits the debris fencing. Fortunately, he doesn't go into the public. Look at Birch, he gets hit like a snooker ball. Ricardo Rosset, he must have been completely blind or stupid, I don't know which. He just drove straight and he didn't even appear to lift.
He didn't back off at all, I can't believe it. The bloke came in faster than anybody went down there. It's probably the fastest that car's been all weekend, in fact. Absolutely stupid. These guys have got to think ahead. Here's the start as they come up to start. Now look at Coulthard's obviously got a major problem getting off the line.
But what a great start. Look at Mika Häkkinen. Perfect start. But watch on the outside. Jacques Villeneuve. He drives around the outside of Coulthard, of Irvine. Michael Schumacher, an appalling start. Drops back all the way down into 5th place. Now, he was on the intermediate tire. That might have contributed to that poor start. Let's look and see what happens. Watch for David Coulthard. There he is. Then suddenly he appears going diagonally across your screen into the retaining wall. Wheel suspension bounces off. Fisichella gets through. Damon Hill gets through. But from air on, you saw Frenson, Herbert, Wurz, Barrichello.
Everybody, actually, John. Everybody was into it. Look at that twit at the back come flying through. What a moronic bit of driving from Rosset. Somehow, that guy just shouldn't be out there. Surely you can see an accident when it happens 100 yards in front of you.
the scenes of absolute carnage. I haven't seen a scene like that. Really going back, it's 25 years ago. Ralf Schumacher tries to move away, the car damaged, but well, we're going to go to a commercial break as we look at Eddie Irvine back in the Ferrari garage. So join us back here at a Spa-Francorchamps race that's been stopped. We'll see you in a moment.
On the football field, I can smell fear a mile away. And here I smell fear too. And it stinks.
But I ain't it. I'm afraid to try Zest Body Wash.
Listen, smelly boy, Zest gets you cleaner and more refreshed.
But I ain't it. I need some serious lather.
Look here, it takes 9 bars to get as much cleaner rinsing lather as Zest Body Wash with lather thingy.
Get cleaner, more refreshed with Zest Body Wash.
Now that's zestfully clean.
Speed Gear presents its latest catalog of officially licensed racing merchandise. Choose from the top names in Formula One, kart, and NASCAR. F1 teams Ferrari, Williams, Benetton, and Jordan. Championship drivers including Villeneuve, Schumacher, Senna, and Prost. Kart teams Newman Haas, AAR, Forsyth, plus drivers Andretti, Fittipaldi, and many others. Speed Gear has it all, from t-shirts and hats to fabulous artwork, videos, and die-cast collectibles. Call now for a free copy of our latest catalog, or visit us on the internet at speedgear.com. Speed Gear has it all.
Attention, citizens. If you plan to be on the road seeking fun and recreation this summer, here's an important tip. Nothing beats 1-800-COLLECT for staying in touch. It's easy to use and costs 10 cents a minute every evening. And as Mr. Chaz McFeely here learned, failure to use 1-800-COLLECT can get you in trouble. So there you have it. Dial 1-800-COLLECT. It's easy, you can save a bundle, and you'll keep our furry friends happy. 1-800-COLLECT. 10 cents a minute every evening.
That'll put the crowd in it.
Jason Kendall and the Bucks are looking to change their fortune, but Craig Biggio and the Astros seem to have all the luck.
This will get out right now.
Oh, man. Don't tell me that's a rabbit's foot.
Don't worry. It wasn't anyone we knew.
Ugh.
Let's kick some tail.
Pirates Astros, today at 1:30 on Fox Sports Southwest.
Welcome back to the Belgian Grand Prix here in Spa-Francorchamps. Race stopped. We saw this unbelievable, I can't even think of how I can describe it, accident that occurred as the cars came out of La Source Herpen. David Coulthard seems to be the man that triggered the whole accident. Let's look again and see, there's Coulthard's car, the 4th car. Then suddenly it just goes from left across to right of the racetrack. Now, was he pushed or did he jump? We don't know that story. We haven't been able to find out from Coulthard. But from this point on, it is just unbelievable. An accident unlike anything I've seen in 25 years. We talked about the accident at the Silverstone. Look at that, Derek.
Well, there's just nothing to be done. And look at this idiot Rosset coming up from the back. I mean, absolutely flat out. Look at this moron coming through now. I mean, can you give that bloke a license? Straight through the middle. I mean, demolition derby extraordinaire. I mean, just so stupid, naive, and inexperienced. But show there's very little between the ears on that boy, I'm afraid.
Well, we're looking at Eddie Irvine. He's in Michael Schumacher's spare car, but before he got in, he had some treatment from Sister Sonia, the physio for the Ferrari team. He had some ice placed on his right knee. He got a wrap. The interior of these cars, Derek, is carbon fiber. It's very unyielding.
Yeah, well, of course, but these guys, they do tailor it for themselves, and I'm sure there's a little bit of padding there, but I mean, the way poor old Eddie went in there and was hit by various people, and remember, that was the shot of him going down there with somebody's wheel sitting in the cockpit in front of him. Nobody's made mention of that really yet, but he obviously didn't get hurt by it. But there's Ron Dennis looking somewhat concerned, I must admit, because David needed to have a good run up there at front, and it really puts a nasty air on the whole race when there's an accident within the first 300 yards. But of course, whether one could have started it with a pace car or not, John, I really don't know. I feel that perhaps they started it the way they should have done. It was just somebody's fault.
Well, we're getting news through that the cause of the incident was, in fact, we saw David Coulthard, but it was because of the movement between the two Ferraris of Eddie Irvine and Michael Schumacher on the exit. That one tried to get it out of the other's way, and of course that in turn set off this whole situation. There again we can see it's all, you can just see in the background.
Well, I find it hard to believe that it was the Ferrari's fault, because I thought they got well out of the way of the incident and they already passed David, but obviously it was part of it. Obviously Irvine then backed right off when he saw the incident happening, and he's right in the middle of it right now. But of course when they were coming to La Source at the time, and I guess it started coming out of there. Coulthard looked like he was in a good line, but something must have tipped him off, or he got that white line on the outside that just helps him. Look at the carnage. I mean, how nobody got hurt with bits of suspension flying around, one will never know.
Well, 800 horsepower in these conditions, it is particularly difficult. But let's have a look at those we believe that are totally unscathed, uninjured. Mika Häkkinen, Damon Hill, Michael Schumacher, Jacques Villeneuve. Brilliant start from Villeneuve, from 6th place all the way up to 2nd place. And Giancarlo Fisichella. Those are the cars that made it back under the red flag, back onto the grid. Those that were damaged beyond repair are coming up in a minute. We've got the 2 arrows as we look at Eddie Irvine's Ferrari, David Coulthard's McLaren. The arrows, the 2 arrows, the 2 Prosts, the 2 Stewarts, the 2 Tyrrells, the 2 Minardis. David Coulthard, Eddie Irvine, single cars, and Alexander Wurz as well. And Mika Häkkinen sitting impassively, really wishing that this race had got underway cleanly. So we're going to take this opportunity for a break while the track's still being cleaned up, and join us back here at Spa-Francorchamps for a full 44-lap Belgian Grand Prix. Still cleaning up this track, but join us back here in a moment.
When it comes to buying a new car or truck, your Texas Ford dealer knows you want it all. Great selection, great features, and of course a great deal. Well, that's what the factory authorized clearance is all about. From full-size pickups to sport utilities, from minivans to performance sedans, your Texas Ford dealer has financing as low as 0.9% and cash rebates as high as $1,500. So you can get the ride you want with the payment you need. You want it all, you can get it all. Only at your Texas Ford dealer's factory authorized clearance.
Call 1-800-METROPLEX and you can get over $2,000 in savings, a fun map, calendar of events, and a vacation of a lifetime for your family in Dallas-Fort Worth. Don't call and it could be Big Mike's carp farm again. Carpe diem. Call now.
Chevy is rolling, and leading the way is Mackite Chevrolet. Hundreds of new Suburbans and Tahoes are on their way to a Suburban sale as big as Texas, and rolling in to Mackite Chevrolet. You can buy a 99 Chevy Suburban loaded with options for only $298 a month. Just $42.50 down plus TT&L and $298 a month. That's a GMAC Smart Buy at Mackite Chevrolet. With your new Tahoe or Chevy Suburban, you're gonna get that great Mackite feeling.
The new Fox Family Channel is giving it all away. Win $100,000 for your dream house, a Florida vacation, or over 1,000 other prizes. It's the Getaway House Giveaway. Pick up an entry form at Wendy's. While you're there, try a fresh stuffed pita. Find a mystery character in one of our new shows. Write it down and mail it in. Hurry, the giveaway's gone September 15th. Go to Wendy's and watch Fox Family Channel.
Catch it on Warner Cable.
Belgian Grand Prix from Spa-Francorchamps, and we've been sitting out watching while the field prepares to take start 2 of this afternoon's Belgian Grand Prix. Here's what happened some moments ago. This was the first start. All the jockeying around. You can see that Häkkinen, a perfect start. Villeneuve dives up from the 3rd row. Then Irvine and Coulthard did get very close together as they went into La Source, but we can't then quite clearly see. Suddenly Coulthard spears across from the left to the right-hand side of the track, and from this point on, it's just carnage of a magnitude I've not seen in many, many years, Derek.
No, there were just wheel suspension going absolutely everywhere, and I can't quite see how Irvine got back so far and involved in that. Look at David, he was so lucky when that other car piled into him. And Eddie Irvine picks up this wheel, which you can see falling into the cockpit. I mean, if that had had a bit of suspension or a drive shaft flailing around, he would have been so hurt. It's unbelievable how good these new safety features are on these cars.
Well, it's unbelievable. In fact, the only driver who has suffered any injury at all is, sadly, Rubens Barrichello, the Brazilian who had his elbow injured. Now, I don't know whether that's between internal in the car or whether something hit his elbow, but he's not taking part. These are the cars that were not involved. Mika Häkkinen, Damon Hill, Michael Schumacher, Jacques Villeneuve, and Giancarlo Fisichella. Those 5 got through without incident. These were involved. Coulthard, Irvine, Wurz, Herbert, Trulli, Barrichello, we've mentioned, Olivier Panis, Pedro Diniz, Verstappen, Saulo, his second big shot of the weekend, Takagi, Rosetta, Nakano. These are the ones that will not start. They will not take the restart. There are 4 drivers. They are Olivier Panis, Mika Salo, Ricardo Rosset, and Rubens Barrichello. And in fact, in the case of the Arrows team, they had to fly in a brand new car to replace the one that Mika Salo trashed on Saturday morning. And it's really been a tough time for the TWR Arrows team, Derek.
A very, very tough time indeed. But of course, now it's down to the restart. And of course, from the driver's point of view, it's the sort of the tension, and they've actually got exhausted in that half an hour. They get so tired waiting for the restart. The adrenaline's pumped up, and then it's all gone away again, and they've got to get themselves pumped up. But right now, they're in the cockpit of that wonderful car that they adore, and they are going to give their best. And believe me, that the adrenaline is right up there again. Of course, a completely different scenario at the start, we hope, and we'll see some really great action.
Well, we believe that virtually everybody, and this is a bit of a guarded secret, the teams don't want to give away what they're doing in tire choices, but it's pretty evident to most people, I think, that the circuit conditions would favor people starting on the intermediate tire. That's a mix of a wet and dry tire. It's not as heavily grooved as a full wet tire, but it's got diagonal slashes as opposed to the ones that follow the circumference of the tire of what is the normal dry weather tire. Ambient temperature has gone up by 2 degrees. It now equals track temperature. That's 52 degrees Fahrenheit. Not very warm, Derek, and that's going to take a long time for a dry line to appear in that dry.
Well, I think it's a classic picture right there. Look at that spray going up and all the trees around. And those trees, as you said earlier, they actually hold that rain. And then it drops back on the track in the forms of sort of dewdrops. And it's absolutely astonishing. The moisture just does not go away.
Mika Hakkinen weaving around, trying to get... Look at David Coulthard. He's got little front-end grip on that car. That's the Mika Hakkinen spare car. Now, we know that the McLaren team, in the case of Mika Hakkinen, made a small wing change to the rear wing of Mika Hakkinen's car to give him a little bit more straight-line speed. Now, is that courageous or is that just confident?
Well, I think it's a pretty courageous move. The only thing, they said it's to maybe get a bit more top speed. I don't think he needs the top speed at the moment. He needs downforce, and I would suggest that what they've done is removed a bit of the rear wing, which will reduce some of the understeer or push that he was getting, and he probably found that out on that first lap of the race, that the car understeered, pushed through the corners, and there's a lot of these long corners at Spa, and boy, the last thing you need is too much understeer.
Well, as the cars come back up to take their grid positions, let us confirm that this race will start as did the first start, without the safety car. No safety car, 44 laps, brand new race. David Coulthard, who somehow or other, we still don't know quite what it was that caused David Coulthard to go at right angles from left to track into the barrier on the right-hand side, but he's on the front row once again in Mika Hakkinen's spare car. So let's listen. Lights on. So Hakkinen, good start again and again. The 2 Ferraris, but Damon Hill, dying start. Damon Hill's taken the lead into La Source. Mika Hakkinen very careful. Michael Schumacher tries to go the long way round. He picks Mika Hakkinen. And more damage.
Oh, more again. He takes that Herbert, or is that a lazy? Oh my goodness, Mika, what were you doing? That is going to cost you so dearly for this World Championship. My goodness me, are they going to get him out of the way? Are they going to start him again? Remember, there is no spare car now. That spare car was allotted to him, but it's Damon that's storming away, and it's Irvine all over the back of Schumacher.
No red flag, and we've got the 2 Ferraris nose to tail coming down the straight. Irvine Schumacher dives down the inside to try and take that second place. He does so, but Damon Hill's stunning start from the world champion 1996 has led the first, or is leading the first lap of this Belgian Grand Prix, but he's got the threat of these 2 Ferraris holding down Mika Hakkinen. I'm speechless.
Well, of course, there's some other people off. David's off. Coulthard is off.
And it's one of the 2 Benettons, and that may be Giancarlo Fisichella. So Coulthard is out. We believe that's Giancarlo Fisichella. So
my goodness, what is happening to McLaren today? That wasn't a good move. Remember, you saw the start as they went into La Source. Mika was right on the inside of Michael, and he put his foot down to try and out-accelerate him, and he lost it. Fortunately for Michael, he didn't take him.
And
Here
there
we
it
go
is.
Again.
Well, that was Coulthard. Was that Wurz or Fisichella?
I can't tell from the back. I can't see it. That was a very brief shot.
Derek, I mean, the question's got to be asked. Did McLaren pay the penalty? 2 reasons. One, going to intermediates, but secondly, taking wing off Hakkinen's car. A safety car is out on track, so what an afternoon. I mean, it is just shambolic. There is Hakkinen's car. It is absolutely stranded in La Source, so the safety car will pick up the lead car. Mika Hakkinen must be wondering, because we saw Michael Schumacher, Hakkinen go round La Source side by side. Schumacher was on the outside, Hakkinen on the inside. He didn't want to give up position.
No, but I'm afraid it was Mika's fault. I mean, Michael was absolutely alongside him as he went through the corner. Let's just watch as we show it again. Here we go, the start. Now look, there's Mika in the middle of the picture, and Michael, he's coming right around Damon. Damon's already gone. Now watch Michael, he's cutting it off, but Michael is slightly ahead. He's out wide, he's giving Mika room, but Mika then boots it. Round he goes and gets taken out, wooed. Here we go, see Damon's in the lead again as we go in. It's Mika quite neatly behind him. Michael comes in, makes it tight for Mika, but Mika wanted it tight there, but Mika just understeers out. Then he puts too much throttle on and away he goes. Whoa, did he went round like a top.
And that's John Alesi in the Sauber that clipped the left front of Mika Häkkinen's car. I mean, this has turned into an absolute and unmitigated disaster. Let's look down. This is the aerial shot. This is the first time I've had an aerial shot of a start this afternoon.
Again, it's David that has such a bad start yet again. But look at Damon storming through the two Ferraris side by side. But just watch as Damon goes round the outside. He just gets traction, unbelievable traction on those Goodyear tires, and away he goes. Not so good right now. Oh, that's it. Anyway, we know what happened, but Mika, of course, just slides it out as he goes round the corner. And here's the shot again of Wirtz taking out David Coulthard coming together.
I just wondered, did David Coulthard manage to get out? We saw a shot of Coulthard just a moment ago. He may have made it to the very edge of track. So David Coulthard actually has managed to find his way back onto track, but that is the Benetton play life of Alexander Wirtz. There, the safety. Well, that's one of the, cars all around the
David,
circuit.
in fact, you saw him, as you say, John, getting reverse gear, and that's pretty good presence of mind. As he went off, he kept it in gear, kept the clutch down and kept it revving, kept the engine going.
Interesting at Spa, because it's such a long circuit, they've got two safety cars to enable the race leader to be picked up at one part of track rather than having to delay things for such a long time. But it's now the Mercedes, the CLK safety car that leads race leader Damon Hill, Michael Schumacher second, Eddie Irvine in third place. In fact, that was Johnny Herbert involved in that incident. Jean Alesi is fourth, Jacques Villeneuve and looks like Frentzen fifth and sixth, and then Ralf Schumacher in seventh place.
Yes, well, it was. It's now going to be interesting to see what happens. Of course, Michael has got to think about points. There's David Coulthard way back. You can't expect that much from David that far back. However, nothing stranger things have happened. But I would say that, of course, it is really going to be down to Michael's intelligence as now as to just where he goes in this.
So the cars make their way down. So the cars make their way down through almost the lowest part of the circuit. It's down at Fagnes, down into the Stavelot part of the racetrack, this double right-hander. And there we have the order after one lap. Damon Hill, Jordan, Mugen Honda, Michael Schumacher, Ferrari, Eddie Irvine, Ferrari, Jean Alesi, Sauber Petronas, Jacques Villeneuve in the Williams Megachrome, and Heinz-Harald Frentzen, similarly driven and powered. So the safety car is due to come in. The lights have gone out. It will peel off at the entrance to the bus stop chicane. It will go right. Then the field led by Damon Hill will follow through the bus stop chicane. But Derek, would you want to be in Damon Hill's position right now with the two Ferraris all over you? I mean, Damon, brilliant start, great performance, but I mean, the pressure, look, the psychological pressure from Schumacher's begun.
But the pressure between these two anyway, whether it's psychological or whatever, and he knows that Michael can't really take a chance, and Michael will be very, very stupid if he takes too much of a chance going into La Source on the first lap. He was working Damon over as it happened anyway, and off they goes. They come into La Source. He has a and pleasant lead as he comes in there. Don't overdo it. They don't overdo it. A nice clean run through, but it's Villeneuve that works his way through to fourth place, should I say.
Yeah, good pass by Jacques Villeneuve. He gets it sideways. Alesi responds, but Villeneuve's got the place. So fourth place for Villeneuve, who made that brilliant start in the first start of this afternoon's Belgian Grand Prix. The cars dropped down through Eau Rouge, still going 170 miles an hour.
Well, of course, you remember when 2 years ago when we saw Schumacher overtake Damon Hill, and Schumacher was on dry tires and Damon was on wets going up into the top of the hill here. So what they're going to do on wets, we don't know. But it's going to be very, very interesting first few laps while everybody settles down after the shambles of the first two starts.
Jacques Villeneuve, not as good a start. Jacques Villeneuve, he got past Alesi. We saw that a few moments ago, and we brought you that news straight away. So, world champion right now. Had two really good races recently, one in Germany, one in Hungary, and really He loves this place, and he believes he can win here. I'll tell you, he's got a mountain to climb to do it.
Yeah, but he's a great driver. I mean, he can drive in any conditions, and he gives it absolutely his all. He doesn't do anything else. When the car is going right for him as it is now, we will just see. Remember, he did do such a good job just recently. Damon powering through the water. Remember, they're not on the full wets. They're doing a great job trying to find their way around the circuit, find the better points. Some cases, you might take a different line as you go around the corner. You might try and find a little bit better grip on the incorrect line for the corner to get that traction.
Well, we've presently got 15 cars running, but the big news, Derek, this restart of the Belgian Grand Prix this afternoon is that World Championship leader Mika Häkkinen by 7 points from second place man Michael Schumacher. He's out of the race. There is the situation at the end of the first lap. You see Häkkinen's car still parked in the middle of the road as Damon Hill comes round and makes his way around. Well, in fact, the car has been moved. That's a lamp. Yes, that's a lamp. Shows you how cloudy it is.
You see Villeneuve's pass on Alesi there. Very nice piece of driving by Jacques coming into the La Source hairpin. Now you're going to think, well, what is actually happening here as they come into La Source again? I think that right now Schumacher is saying, well, I'm just going to hang on a bit. There's going to be a pit stop at some point. Let's just let it settle down and then have a go.
Frentzen up into 5th place. He's put Alesi down one more. Ralf Schumacher 7th. Fisichella 8th. Pedro Diniz 9th. And Jos Verstappen 10th. But anything below 6th place, really, it's just a matter of being pussyfoot all around the circuit, because any action that's going to happen, well, they want to benefit from it. They don't want to be it. Damon Hill, fastest race lap, 2:09.190. And really, Michael Schumacher is so far not making any impression whatsoever on the Jordans, has he?
Remember, the two drivers you see lying first and second at the moment are 2 of the 3 drivers that won every Grand Prix in the last 10 years at Spa. So there's some very experienced men out there. And there's Eddie Jordan, team owner of Jordan, watching and trying to look totally nonplussed about the whole thing. But no doubt he's as nervous as a kitten.
He's been here before. He had Rubens Barrichello in pole position in 1994. And the first Jordan Grand Prix win, it's been there. He's been knocking on the door for a variety of reasons. It's never come. In circumstances such as this, as we look at the retirements, Wirtz, Häkkinen, Herbert, Barrichello didn't restart, Panis didn't restart, Sello didn't restart. So those 3, and the same with Ricardo Rosset. Those last 4 cars did not take the start.
It seems that Ralf Schumacher may well be on wet tyres, whereas Damon is on the intermediates, as of course is Schumacher, and that could be the reason that Ralf is dropping back.
Cars come through Stavlo Corner now. The long climb uphill, 6th gear flat out. This is the first part, the entry up towards Bonneville Corner. But then, in these conditions, Derek, it's not going to be flat out, is it?
Oh no, it certainly isn't, John. It's going to be, in some cases, probably a drop down a gear for some people. But it's really a matter of keeping that traction. Look at the slideways on as they get the power on, going through the bus stop chicane, up past the pits into La Source. But of course, what one just doesn't imagine, Home, is just how little grip there is. The feel is just fingered. You've just got to be so gentle. You can easily lock a wheel up, particularly with these carbon brakes, because there is no temperature in these brakes today. So no doubt they've done some work on trying to, seal off the brake ducts a bit to get a bit more heat into those brakes so they work more efficiently.
There is our top 6. Ralf Schumacher right on the gearbox of Jean Alesi. Alesi was 4th at the start of this lap. The start of the opening lap has dropped back behind the 2 Williams, and now coming under attack from the 2nd Jordan. Damon Hill now also beginning to feel that there's a bit of pressure coming from Michael Schumacher as Eddie Irvine drops back. I have to say, not surprisingly, he's in Michael Schumacher's spare car. He's also had a bruised knee. He got treatment for that before the restart. And the battle for the lead here in Belgium is really very much between Michael Schumacher, a winner here 4 times. In fact, he won 5. That was in 1994, but his win was disallowed because his car wore away the wooden plank which is fitted to the underside of these cars. And if it wears more than a given amount, then the car is disqualified. Schumacher, indeed. Big mistake from Michael Schumacher. Jean Todt, heart in his mouth. But just going back to that incident we saw earlier at the restart between David Coulthard and Alexander Wurz. Alexander Wurz said that he hit the corner, and David shut the door on him.
That That was a nasty moment from Michael Schumacher. It makes you wonder whether they've done something a little bit incorrect with the setup, but they know it's a full wet setup. They tested these tyres at Fiorano last week. Eddie Irvine said this new Goodyear tyre was certainly better than before, and they've learnt a lot. But Michael closes right up on Damon coming up into the bus stop. You've got to keep off those curbs. You've got to keep off that white line. The water does not permeate the white line, and those curbs are very bumpy coming into that chicane.
And of course, on those curbs with the paint, the red and white paint that marks the curb out in the interval corner, they are extremely slippery indeed, and wet weather conditions, you don't use them unless you've got a straight run off, but they can certainly cause problems. There's a battle going on behind us, and Eddie Irvine, well, he's in fact, that's between Frentzen, in fact, Fisichella. Frentzen has dropped back one position. So it's Ralf Schumacher 7th, Fisichella 8th, Denise 9th, Verstappen 10th.
There's Michael's mad moment there when he got a bit out of shape. Look at him coming in there. But you notice he dropped back from Damon quite a bit on that, but he came straight up on his gearbox coming to La Source the next lap. He made it straight up again. I'm surprised that Jacques isn't making more inroads on Eddie here, but he possibly is bit by bit as Eddie slips back.
In fact, it was Jacques Villeneuve that's gone from 4th back to 6th place. And that must have been in the Lera somewhere as Ralf Schumacher now closes down to the back of Jacques Villeneuve. Had a quickie spin. I don't know how you can spin quickly, but Jacques managed to do it. That caused him to lose 2 places, and now has got the attentions of Ralf Schumacher all over the back. So as we watch this intriguing battle outside the top 2, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Join us back here in Belgium in a moment.
If you had $40,000, would you pay off your bills, make home improvements, or keep some for emergencies? Well, at First Plus, you can get up to $40,000 or more with no equity required. And you can get pre-qualified right now. Here's how.
Do you own your home? Do you have good credit? Do you want to pay off your bills and lower your monthly payments?
If you said yes to all 4 questions, call First Plus now. Tell them you're pre-qualified to apply for the money you need. Call First Plus at 1-800-510-PLUS.
This is the Midas Gold Muffler. It comes with a Midas lifetime warranty, and it's now just $49.95, $69.95 for select imports. Let's review. Midas Gold Muffler, lifetime warranty, $49.95. Hurry, the price of gold has never been lower.
LCI wants to change the way you drive. Enter the LCIUltimateRide.com giveaway, and you could win a kart championship show car. Enter online at UltimateRide.com or look for details in USA Today.
Hurry out today to the grand opening of Phase 2 of the new and improved Gallery Furniture. The adventure begins for you and your family at 6006 I-45 North between Temple Barker, because during Gallery Furniture's grand opening sale, you're going to find the grandest bargains ever on big screen TVs, on name brand solid wood furniture like Keller, Sumter, and Bob Timberlake, and you're going to find big savings on beautiful leather upholstered furniture. Grand opening sale at Gallery Furniture means giant selection, giant savings, immediate financing, immediate delivery. Grand opening sale at Gallery today saves you money.
Chevy is rolling, and leading the way is Mackay Chevrolet. Hundreds of new Suburbans and Tahoes are on their way to a Suburban sale as big as Texas, and rolling in to Mackay Chevrolet. You can buy a '99 Chevy Suburban loaded with options for only $298 a month. Just $42.50 down plus TT&L and $298 a month. That's a GMAC Smart Buy at Mackay Chevrolet. With your new Tahoe or Chevy Suburban, you're gonna get that great Mackay feeling.
Welcome back to the Belgian Grand Prix here in Spa-Francorchamps. Every night at 10 on Fox Sports Net, it's Fox Sport News Prime Time, covering your hometown teams 7 nights a week. We're there. On this battle at the front, Damon Hill, Michael Schumacher. Well, I tell you, the battle that's going on behind for 6th place with Michael's brother Ralph in the second of the 2 Jordans. He's breathing all over the back of Jacques Villeneuve, but here we are still at the front, down the hill into Peugeot corner. And Damon Hill doing a wonderful job. He always does a wonderful job when he's leading races.
Yes, he's in front, and we've said this so many times before. He is as good as anybody. He is outstanding. But Michael Schumacher was all over the back of him just now, Mike. When Damon got it out of shape, coming to La Source hairpin down the hill. But Michael is right there. You'll see the red lights all the cars wearing on the back, but they have to run in dodgy conditions. Now reflecting on another incident just earlier.
Well, that's just coming out of the bus stop.
That's Villeneuve's spin, no doubt.
Indeed, that was Jacques
straight
spin.
on. That was a quick spin. That was a quick 360 and away he goes, Jacques. Thank you very much.
He did very well indeed not to get into the wall there because you're coming out very quickly. He might have just caught that white paint.
Oh, look at Schumacher now. He's putting some pressure on Hill. Right over the back. Oh, Damon's locking it up a bit as he comes in there. It is so critical on this braking. They brake so late. These brakes heat up so quickly and they become so efficient so quickly, and that makes it very difficult on the braking. You just don't realize just what it's like. So different from those steel brakes that we're normally used to. Damon's got to keep that car here as Michael. Look at Michael get such good traction. He hasn't got him, but that's exactly what he did last time coming up. Damon goes out too wide. Schumacher turns in a bit tighter, hits in the middle of the road, gets the clean bit of road, the road that hasn't got the rubber on. And then he goes away from him. Let's see if he can get him on momentum up the hill. He's got more speed as Schumacher as they go up the hill. Is he going to get him at the top where he got him just 2 or 3 years ago?
But Damon Hill's got good straight line speed as well. In fact, once Schumacher's advantage over Eau Rouge in the radio levels out, and he didn't really make any ground as they came up into the braking zone.
He certainly didn't. But look at this other group. Ralph lying back there 24 seconds behind his teammate. Fisichella back there 36 points behind leader.
And Fisichella, in fact, part of the reason he's 36 seconds behind is because he also was a spinner. He had a quick spin down at the Stabilo corner, managed to continue, didn't hit anything. So we're on lap 8 of 44, and just to recount, we had 4 cars that didn't take the start. That was because of that massive shunt that occurred on the first lap of the first start. And those cars that didn't take the start were Olivier Panis, Mika Salo, Ricardo Rosset, Rubens Barrichello. We've since lost Alexander Wurz, Johnny Herbert, Mika Hakkinen, and he spun in the first lap of the restart, trying to go wheel to wheel with this man, Michael Schumacher. Johnny Herbert came round, drove into Hakkinen's car. That ended Hakkinen and Herbert's race. Alexander Wurz had a difference of opinion with David Coulthard down at the Rivage corner. Wurz said it was my corner. I think David disagreed. Coulthard is running, but of course lost an enormous amount of time. Schumacher now beginning to apply even more pressure. Comes into Bourneville right on the back of the Jordan. Look at that. Schumacher sideways as they come up in the bus stop.
Incredible bit of driving to sweep out, but that's where he had him before. He knew he had that advantage coming out of that long Blanchimont double left-hander.
And I think what Damon did there to defend his position in these conditions was dangerous. He deliberately went to block Michael Schumacher, forced Schumacher even more out to the left of the track. Let's watch again. Here he comes, he pulls out, now Damon drives across.
Well, Johnny only dived across a bit. He went back to get his line for the right-hander coming up. You've got to give him his due, but he is holding out there. Would you back off and let Schumacher by? No, of course you wouldn't. Well, you would. You won a few Grand Prix, Waddy, so you're just as stupid as they are.
I just think that in those circumstances, it's very, very easy. Doing it in the dry is one thing, doing it in the rain is something totally different. And bearing in mind the kind of carnage that we've seen today, well...
You don't bear it in mind, John, do you? Good Lord.
All the time.
Just because you're 50 now, you're getting all too sensible. When you were out there, it was very different. You gave it well in. Look at him now. Schumacher is streaking away.
Yeah, Damon Hill did a great job. He took the lead of the second start here in Belgium. He dominated that for 7 laps, but now 8 laps in, 8 laps gone. It's not Michael Schumacher. Look how much he's pulling out in the space of less than a lap. He's pulled out for the best part of 3 seconds.
Unbelievable the way that guy can go. I must admit, I thought Damon was driving outstandingly well. Listen to the crowd. But, I mean, I just thought he was driving really well, Damon, but Schumacher just showing that he can be in a class of his own. But when I saw him getting sideways so much before, I thought we'd actually seen the end of Schumacher as far as making any bold moves today, but he's obviously got to grips with the situation. Remember, he couldn't see very much behind Damon either. He had a easy position to be in.
I think that was a very, I call it scary moment, because he really came out from the back of Damon Hill, right on his gearbox, and he wasn't going to get down the right-hand side. He wanted to go the left-hand side. Okay, Damon, maybe he was using the piece of road that would be reasonable to use, but it did look to me to be a little bit more than just simply trying to take your own part of track. David Coulthard making up for lost ground after that incident with Alexander Wurz in 14th place. And what a day for McLaren Mercedes-Benz. I mean, you know, world championships and race wins are not made by the kind of events we've seen here this afternoon, and this could be the turning point in the championship. So, Verstappen
Engine gone. How can you have an engine go in the wet? That's pretty diabolical. Oh, careful, don't get it too sideways. But see, that's the line. You don't want to get across that wet. See the water going down the line there? Don't want to get on that. And of course, Verstappen pulling off. What a weekend for Stewart. What a disaster.
And I just hope that there was no liquid coming out from that car that would have gone onto an already very slippery racetrack. Difficult to see at the best of times in the wet. Just absolutely terrible.
Well, of course, the marshals at this level are so smart. They're very good at getting their flags up. Let's hope that they're aware of what was happening there and they would have those flags out. Damon is dropping back as we speak. Schumacher absolutely on him. And look at, here comes Eddie working away over Damon. He's going to give him a hard time any moment.
Indeed, I think Eddie Irvine is beginning to run down Damon Hill as we look into that mist and we look at Heinz-Hauer Frentzen. Oh, Eddie Irvine has gone off track. He's made a mistake up at Malmedy.
Oh, and he
Les
so
Combes.
well.
He was flying and he made a mistake at Les Combes. Oh, watch it, Frentzen. Eddie Irvine has
got no front wing though, John. He's got no front wing. You have to go in for a new nose.
Oh,
that was he could see
silly.
Damon in front of him. He could see Damon in front of him. Oh, here comes Coulthard into the pits.
Well, we wonder whether David Coulthard's got a problem or whether this looks like he's going to drive into the pits. I don't think this is a routine pit stop. He's gone into the pit. He's gone into the...
But nobody's ready.
No.
He just came in. They're changing tyres. Remember, he did go off the road. Maybe he did some damage and he wasn't too happy. Or maybe an imbalance from it.
Well, in spite of David Coulthard's appalling day, you never ever have to give up in these circumstances. It's still a long way. We're on lap 10 of 44. And believe me, stranger things have happened in Grand Prix.
I'm just beginning to think, wouldn't it be brilliant to see a Ferrari 1-2 in their 600th Grand Prix, and Eddie goes and makes a mess of that idea.
Okay, looking at Michael Schumacher, we think David Coulthard may have changed to wets. In the meantime, we're going to take a quick break. Join us back in Belgium here in 1 moment.
European auto racing, an international bestseller. Who knows what tomorrow may bring? Welcome to the future.
The exciting new 48-page Grand Prix Tours brochure features special VIP arrangements to every Formula One race throughout the world. And it's free if you call 888-RACES-F1 now. Choice race viewing, the most convenient hotels. Grand Prix Tours takes care of all the details. Exclusive VIP parties with F1 drivers and race personalities. Just show up and have the time of your life. Call now. Grand Prix Tours is your VIP pass to Formula One.
In the soul of every Bridgestone Potenza lie the twists and turns of the legendary Formula One Grand Prix courses of the world, the ultimate proving grounds of tyre technology. Using a tapered tread element derived from the Potenza F1 Racing Rain tyre, the Potenza RE910 street tyre handles the road wet or dry. Made with Unity, Bridgestone's ultimate tyre technology. Bridgestone Potenza, technology-driven performance with the soul of Formula One.
Welcome back to the Grand Prix of Belgium at Spa-Francorchamps. Spa, Belgium, and Michael Schumacher continues to lead this race. He's 27 seconds, that's first to third. Frentzen in third place, doing a superb job for the Williams team. Teammate Villeneuve, we saw have a spin earlier. This is Ralf Schumacher. He's been into the pits, he's had a service. He is on wet tyres, conditions are deteriorating. We also saw Eddie Irvine come into the pits for wet weather tyres, but more importantly, for a brand new nose cone to replace the one that he damaged. There are the graphics. Panier didn't race, Salah didn't race, Rosset didn't race, Barrichello injured elbow didn't race, Hakkinen out, Wurz, Herbert, Verstappen, Takagi went off just coming out of La Source. That mud on the side of the track, that's the result of Toro Takagi's off on the exit of La Source.
And of course, it is getting wetter all the time, John. You said they put these wet tires on, but you can see Schumacher was lapping in 2 minutes 5 seconds, 2 minutes 3, I should say. He's now down to 2 minutes 5. There you can see it. He's now down to 2 minutes 6. But of course, as long as he can keep pulling away from Damon at that 2 seconds a lap, why should he come in? Frentzen isn't doing any better either, so they're going to stay out until it gets too bad, or else it's about the right time for that fuel stop.
Well, I think everybody who's been into the pits for a stop have decided that it is too bad to continue on the intermediates, and they've gone to the full wet tyre, be it Bridgestone, be it Goodyear. Michael Schumacher, who's in an incredible rhythm, lapping 2 seconds quicker than anybody else on racetrack, regardless of whatever tyre they're on, Derek. He is on intermediates, the tyre he started this race on. He will try to go to his pit stop window. Now, in these conditions, I think they might try and go to almost half distance. It's an awfully long way to go, but they've got the fuel to do it.
Well, they have the fuel to do it, but of course, having that extra bit of fuel gives you that extra bit of weight, which gives you that extra bit of stability because it bites through the water that extra bit, and you don't lose that rhythm. When you come up that pit road, you've got to go out on a fresh set of tyres. You're not quite sure what those tyres are going to do when you go out, so you have to be very cautious. Once you get that rhythm in the wet, there is nothing like it, and of course, you know exactly where the lines are.
This man, Jean Alesi, currently running in 4th place. Another wet weather specialist, a man that really has performed some unbelievable drives. There's a Jordan, I think, in the gravel trap down at Stavler. We just got a quick glimpse of a car. I thought it was yellow. Could only be a Jordan if it is. But just look how bad Derek is getting the rain falling steadily. And as we come up through the Blanchimont corners, the difficulty in visibility. Now the camera's having problems picking out. Well, the cars have distance.
Well, of course, what we hope, of course, is that this is not going to affect these guys on their intermediate tyres. Remember, the first 3 are running on intermediates. Somebody getting a ride back in the 2-seater McLaren.
Yes, Jos Verstappen, he stopped at the exit of Puho corner, hit a mechanical failure, and engine let go. Michael Schumacher, 16.1 seconds.
He took 4 seconds that lap off Damon.
Well, I mean, Damon doesn't have to do anything. He's not going to beat Michael Schumacher in pace. He's just got to consolidate and get 6 points. Heinz-Harald Frentzen, we didn't see that, but he's also slipped off. He did it quietly away from camera, but somebody saw it. Jean Alesi, in fact, has made it up into 3rd place, so a brilliant performance from the Frenchman of Sicilian-Italian extract. Heinz-Harald Frentzen down into 4th off the podium as he makes his way up the long climb up to Les Combes.
It's amazing when you go up that hill, you can actually see the people sitting on the banks on the left, not in the rain so much, but in the dry, you get to identify with people sitting there in clusters and the colours. Quite amazing to get that chance to relax just for that short space of time.
Jacques Villeneuve, he spun as he came out of the bus stop chicane a little earlier in the race, went from 4th back to 6th, now beginning to make a little bit of an impression on Frentzen, but of course Frentzen and Villeneuve would still be on that intermediate tyre, Derek.
They certainly would, and of course Frentzen's been off the road. He must wonder just why he did it. He's going to be more cautious now. Jacques has had some moments himself. He had a 360 earlier on, had a great moment going by one of the slower cars, a Minardi, earlier on, but he got by him at La Source. So Jacques is taking it easy possibly, but I think this man Frentzen will be taking just that tad easier than him, having had that off. The last thing Frentzen needs now, when he's trying to prove to everybody that he deserves a ride for 99 in a top team, he's the one that everybody's pushing to one side in his battle, is Zanardi, who they say has signed for Williams, is Ralf Schumacher, who he says he's going to go to Williams. Where does that leave poor old Heinz-Harald Frentzen?
I don't know where it's going to leave Fisichella. A word of going to drive in champ cars in the States. No Formula One team really seems to be jumping up and down with excitement at the thought of Heinz-Harald Frentzen being available to them.
Well, he's only won 1 Grand Prix the whole of last year in the best car in the series, and he hasn't done much this year. Look at the visibility now. We must admit, of course, it is with a long-range camera, but nevertheless, the conditions are worsening.
Yes, and also for Heinz-Harald Frentzen, the old contentious issue about who's going to pay whom and how much does a driver want. But there is our top 6: Michael Schumacher, Damon Hill, Jean Alesi, Heinz-Harald Frentzen, Jacques Villeneuve, and Giancarlo Fisichella. Ralf Schumacher, he's been in the pits. He's in 7th pedigree, and he's up to 8th place. Good drive by the young Brazilian in very un-Brazilian conditions.
Yes, certainly. To see how tight they come in that corner, that's where you want to be, to get that traction going out wide, go out wide across the gully of water when you can't get the power on. Canny bit of driving there.
Well, having just sung the praise, Derek, of Jean Alesi, he's had a little spin all of his own, and again, that's no doubt due to the conditions. They're now so bad, those on intermediate tyres are going to have to come in very quickly indeed, and we believe that Michael Schumacher will come in at the end of this lap. He probably would have judged it. His team will have judged it. But there, two Williams running 4th and 5th. Villeneuve has run down Heinz-Harald Frentzen a lot in those last 2 laps.
It's very easy to do that when your teammate's in front and you want to make him look very small. But you can see the rain is deteriorating these conditions as these two battle it out.
And the visibility, not just for the drivers, you can imagine how bad it is for the drivers when we are having difficulty with the cameras picking up the cars in that spray. It goes up, it just stays there, it doesn't get dissipated, it doesn't get blown away. In fact, there's no wind to blow it away anyway. We saw there's virtually no wind whatsoever at the start of the race. There's probably more air movement generated by these cars themselves than there is by nature today.
That is unique horror of Spa, is you get these conditions as Schumacher comes in.
Yes, race leader Michael Schumacher on lap 16 comes into the pits, and whether he's going to try and go all the way on one stop, it's a long, long way if he's going to try it. Ferrari have got a car that's got a large enough fuel capacity. Let's judge by the length of time that fuel hoses in. That will give us an indication if Ferrari intend to make one more stop.
Well, they got wet tyres, John.
Wet tyres, he's going to do another stop. That length of time, they couldn't, in my opinion, get enough fuel into the car. But what we don't know is how much they had in when they came in, as Damon Hill in 2nd place comes into the Jordan pits. Jordan team have been brilliant this year in servicing their drivers, getting them in, getting them out. Little wing change to the front for Damon Hill. Does he want more or less? We can't quite see that adjustment.
A little less.
And a problem on that front flat. Damon goes out in wet tyres, 11.3.
Lazy's coming as well, so it's all go in the pits at the moment. They don't just take it easy going up. Frenzen's coming as well, and here comes Fisichella.
So suddenly this is the point at the end of lap 16. Jean Lazy there, you can see those intermediate tyres, the herringbone stripe, the tread pattern. Frentzen gets a set of wet weather tyres. Let's see who gets out first. This is critical, this is position. Opportunity to change position. Jean Alesi has gone. So Alesi consolidates. Frentzen makes his way down the pit lane. Of course, speed limit in action this afternoon as Giancarlo Fisichella. He was in 6th place. Benetton team spending a long time. This is not a good stop for the Benetton team for Fisichella. 15.2 again. Now they may have tried to put Derek enough fuel into that car to enable him to go to the end without having to stop for more fuel. Certainly.
They may well have done, but of course it's going to be Schumacher that with these wet tyres we're going to see just the differential in his times, and he's going to try and streak away to try and get that break. It looks like somebody slid into
That's Sir Williams as Jacques Villeneuve is off. He's gone off. Let's have a look and see. The Canadian is square by part of the track is this. Oh, look at the back end of the car. Snaps one way, snaps back the other way. That's a big high-speed spin. Second shunt of the weekend for Jacques Villeneuve. And we think that he's out of the car and he's uninjured, but certainly the conditions are such. The safety car, I believe, or a red flag will be brought out very shortly, because with that kind of water, that was Villeneuve still on intermediates, or...
Yeah, he was on his intermediates. He had been in the pits, and, you know, he just got the thing a little bit out of shape, and, of course, it flicked back the other way.
Villeneuve out 16 laps. Takagi, Verstappen, Wurz, Hacken, and Herbert. Barrichello, Panizzalo, and, of course, Rosset did not start. So Jacques Villeneuve, there we see, Clam is out of the car, steering wheel off. I think that's on the exit from Stablo coming up the hill.
I can't tell. I mean, it's just so difficult to say. I mean, what I find is they got to get that car out of that position, because if Jacques can go in there, so can somebody else. And that is very, very dangerous, because you don't go off in the normal positions, normal places in the wet. Look at that water coming off that Ferrari as Schumacher works his way up the hill.
That is just, I mean, you can't say enough about the skill and the ability and the bravery. Ron Dennis made a very interesting comment about why is it that only so few drivers have won at Spa-Francorchamps. And Ron said one of the elements, in my opinion, is because of the variety of conditions that you meet here during a Grand Prix weekend. One of those conditions is physical bravery. And that guy is as brave as Dick Tracy. So Michael Schumacher dominates this afternoon's Grand Prix in Belgium. We're going to take a quick break. Join us back here in a moment.
Is your car still running bad? Well, don't get mad. Get Motor Up, the no oil change engine treatment for a smoother, quieter, and cooler running car. Over 3 million people have already added Motor Up to their automobiles, and now you can too with our special 30-day free trial offer. Just call the number on your screen and tell the operator that you want to try Motor Up before you buy it. This is a unique opportunity for anyone who's never tried Motor Up to try it now risk-free. It's so easy. Just add 1 bottle to your car's engine, and you'll see, feel, and hear a difference almost immediately.
Without a doubt, it's definitely running cooler. And it's running quieter.
This doesn't shake at all. Look at it.
It's definitely running smoother.
Use Motor Up and you'll get the same amazing results. And because you don't have to change your oil to add Motor Up, you'll save time and money. Before you spend more on costly repairs, call this number now. Put Motor Up to the test and see for yourself. This incredible 30-day free trial offer won't last long, so call now.
Chevy is rolling, and leading the way is Mackay Chevrolet. Hundreds of new Suburbans and Tahoes are on their way to a Suburban sale as big as Texas, and rolling in to Mackay Chevrolet. You can buy a 99 Chevy Suburban loaded with options for only $298 a month. Just $42.50 down plus TT&L and $298 a month. That's a GMAC Smart Buy at Mackay Chevrolet. With your new Tahoe or Chevy Suburban, you're gonna get that great Mackay feeling.
So, what's the big deal about Fingers Labor Day sale? Nothing. That's right, because nothing is what you'll pay for 1 full year. Nothing down, nothing per month, nothing at all for 1 full year with no finance charges. Nothing compares to Fingers' unbeatable low price guarantee, and nothing comes close to Fingers Selection. The pay nothing for 1 full year Labor Day sale is at your Fingers. It's nothing, really.
It's fabulous. It's Fingers. Welcome back to the Belgian Grand Prix in Spa-Francorchamps. Michael Schumacher still dominating this very wet Grand Prix. But on September 13th on Fox Sport Net, it's Formula One racing. This time, it's the Italian Grand Prix. In 2 weeks, Grand Prix of Italy, September the 13th at 10 a.m. Michael Schumacher, Damon Hill, Ralf Schumacher, that's the top 3. Jean Alesi having spun, Frentzen having spun, Irvine in the pits for new news. Those are your 4th, 5th and 6th places. So we're going to have a little look again in a moment. This is the first start. Great start from Hakkinen. Coulthard falls in behind. Villeneuve comes around the outside. Irvine, Coulthard get very close on the entry to the corner, but we don't see what happened on the exit. Michael Schumacher gets away. All of a sudden, David Coulthard, he spears across the track. We don't know why. Hits the wall. Then it just goes belly up. Look at tires, suspension, cars, Coulthard's car. Damon Hill gets through. Ralf Schumacher manages to avoid damage. I don't know how he managed it. Irvine, he's a punch bowl. Ricardo Rosset comes charging down in there. Look, I mean, that is just ridiculous. Ricardo Rosset, our least popular driver of the day. Even one of the two, I think that was Nakano in the Minardi, didn't use his nose much either, and he piled into Mika Salo's arrows. So that was the carnage after start 1. We then had a restart some 50 minutes later. People started on intermediate tires. Derek.
Well, it was a great start by Hakkinen, but look at Damon Hill storming up, takes the lead, gets wonderful traction out of his Goodyear tires, comes in there, Michael Schumacher on the outside. Does he get, oh, look at that, there is Hakkinen spins trying to go around with him, but it's to no avail. And then, of course, Eddie Jordan's got a fine second place. Chaos behind again, and there we are. Another sort of delayed start. Well, not a delayed start. We then had a course car, pace car came out and held them at bay for a few laps, and then we had a restart, and it was Damon that went.
Well, Damon, a 2-time winner here in Spa-Francorchamps. There's teammate Ralf Schumacher. He's making up for last time in the early part of the race, but look how wet it is. That's the exit of the bus stop chicane as they come across. Start, finish line. Everybody on the restart started on the intermediate tire, be it the Goodyear, be it the Bridgestone. The race was not started under a safety car. There was some contention that the original start, maybe Derek, should have been under a safety car, but, you know, it's a bit of a 50-50 call.
It is indeed, John, and I think, you know, it was only because of driver error that it wasn't due to conditions that they lost control, that they could have done that in the dry just as easily. But in fact, it's Ralf. He's pulled in 2 seconds on Damon Hill, his teammate, and he's catching him up. He's gone from 24 seconds to 22 seconds to 19 seconds between them. So he's doing a very, very good job, and he just got to keep it on the road again to just show everybody just how good he is.
Well, looking at the Jordan team, and this is a team, a born-again team. Eddie Jordan and his team had a low point this year in Monte Carlo. It was the worst race, I think, of maybe the Jordan career in the last number of years. Eddie Jordan hung his head in despair. The team have come back probably stronger than any team in recent history, from a low position, middle to back end of the grid in Monte Carlo, to being at the point where they are a threat to this race. Pedro Diniz into the pits. He had been running in 7th place. The Brazilian was 8th, in fact, dropped back 1 place. There you see the full wet Bridgestones on the car. Diniz takes on a tank full of fuel.
Excellent bit of driving with Diniz today, you have to admit that. Mika Sala had a horrific crash on Saturday morning, really had a real whack. Didn't make the start again. Well, he did obviously make the start today, but then got involved earlier. And Diniz is out there doing a very, very fine job for a man who has to bring 10 millions to get a drive. He does a very, very good, stable job.
Jarno Trulli was in 10th place. He's been in, back out again. Remember, only one of the Prost Peugeots started the second restart. Olivier Panis' car was damaged beyond repair. Trulli's race car was also damaged beyond repair, but because of his grid position, he got priority over Olivier Panis, and that might not make the Frenchman Panis at all happy with how Prost and the team. He's complained about treatment in the past, Eric, and this will not give him any reason for encouragement.
But he was just that little bit ahead on the grid, wasn't he, John? And I think that was what probably determined which way it went. Jack Villeneuve came in just now and said it was his own fault, he simply lost it. But remember, of course, he was on the intermediate tyres, and that is probably why he lost it. But he did say after his accident on Friday, when he went up the top off at Eau Rouge, he said, I've just got to say that I do reckon on having one major crash per year, and this is it. What a lovely attitude to have.
Well, it's a very positive, fresh, refreshing attitude, but here we've got a great battle for 5th place. Heinz-Harald Frentzen trying to consolidate, and a recovering Eddie Irvine driving the wheels off the Ferrari. There he just dives down. Oh, dear me. Oh, dear me. And that was the close call of the race for Michael Schumacher. Diving down the inside into the Rivage corner. Pedro Diniz, I mean, in fairness to there, he probably wasn't even aware, and if it had been a flag waved at him, I doubt he would have even seen it.
No, you wouldn't see it in these conditions at all. Some ways, that's why the old flashing, you know, the lights like we have at Le Mans, they're very useful in these bad conditions. I think they should be brought in more at these races.
Well, Frentzen under pressure from Eddie Irvine in the second Ferrari. Irvine, of course, heavily involved in that first corner shunt. He then jumped into Michael Schumacher's spare car. He then did a great charging job up to the back of Damon Hill, got too enthusiastic, went off, damaged the front of the car, nose and wing, went into the pits, put on wet tyres, new nose, back out driving. You wouldn't have thought this guy's been involved in a shunt all afternoon.
Been involved in 3 pretty good moments out there. Just keep it on together, Eddie. But it'd be nice to see Eddie get some good result out there today. But of course, I'd just like to see Frentzen. I just would like to see Frentzen get the result that he deserves. Poor bloke just keeps getting beaten over the head by people. He was very ill at the last race, had to go to hospital for several days and have all his fluids re-put in, but he's Eddie all over the back of him at the moment.
And as you say, Derek, the visibility right now, look at Irvine caught in the spray. Now he's caught up to the back of Frentzen. His job is increasingly difficult because he can't see where he is. He's got to really try to look out to the side, use his peripheral vision to really give him a sense of whereabouts on the racetrack he is.
Look at that water coming off the wheels. And of course, remember that when they look at him now, he's streaking up behind Frentzen, but see, he's taken a little bit of an outside line there to try and get a bit of better, slightly better visibility now. Is he going to be quicker through Blanchimont? So as they go up into the bus stop that he'd rather like Michael and he'll zap by, but no, he can't do that.
Well, nothing's changed. Top 6 as they've been for the last couple of laps, and this is going to be a long race. We've just gone past half distance, and we've been racing for approximately 50 minutes, so we might get this race in before the 2-hour time limit. That's the regulations, either 300 kilometers in distance or the nearest to 300 kilometers in distance, or 2 hours in time. Because we're on a very high-speed circuit, of course, that will probably save us from having this race being flagged off before the 44 laps, in fact, are complete.
Just watch Frentzen bouncing over those curves. It amazes me that they can do this on wet tyres, or on any tyres for that matter, but certainly in the wet, you'd think the car would dart and weave all over them. It just shows how soft that rubber is. Damon Hill, unfortunately, we just heard, got held up behind a Minardi, which put him back to 34 seconds behind Schumacher, allowing Michael the pleasure or the luxury of having another pit stop if he wants it any time, and a little quick drop of the old Lambrusco, and off he goes. Eddie's going to have to go by in a minute because he's not going to having a nice time at all in his spray of Frenzen.
Well, I thought he was going to have a little look down the inside into Rivage, but he wasn't close enough on the exit of Malmedy to take that chance, but he's going to certainly show his nose.
Oh, careful, Eddie. This is not a good place to do it. Remember, the track drops away here to the outside. And of course, as he goes down now to Pouillon, it's difficult for Eddie to see because they're going up to sort of 170 miles an hour, even in the rain, braking down. Very fast, double apex left-hander. You can so easily, and when you come in there, it's the most forbidding corner. I think one of the most forbidding corners in motor racing. Here he goes down the inside, having a look. No.
Well, the guy certainly is out there racing, but his visibility is almost impossible. I mean, I don't think he is able to accurately place. As we look at David Coulthard, Coulthard about to go a lap down to race leader in 8th place. It just goes to prove that in spite of all David's problems this afternoon, you know, by the time this race reaches its conclusion, you could see David Coulthard actually in the points. But he's now got to deal with a race leading Michael Schumacher behind.
And let's hope he doesn't do anything too rash, which one might say was designed to stop Michael going by and get those points.
Well, it's a crucial point in the championship. McLaren are faced with losing the lead of the Drivers' Championship. Oh, Michael Schumacher's run into the back of David Coulthard.
And he can't stop now.
He is out of the race. Michael Schumacher, he didn't realize that Coulthard either had lifted off.
I think Coulthard backed off for him. Look at him driving around on 3 wheels.
Still, well, I don't know whether David Coulthard, whether he just suddenly saw Schumacher lifted off or Schumacher made a misjudgment. I mean, Derek, I have never in my life.
So, Stu, David, I believe, had to have backed off to allow Michael to go by, and Michael just dropped into him.
Jordan are leading the Grand Prix, or will be leading the Grand Prix. Eddie Jordan might find that.
And Irvine's in the pits as well, which isn't good for Ferrari. Let's watch it again. Look at it. He just backed off, you see. Well, dear, oh dear, oh dear. Michael's going to be so annoyed, and David didn't want to do that. He just backed off to let Michael go around him. He can't believe it. He will be so annoyed he had it made. Look at this. He's still going,
but the thing is, he's got no brakes. Because when you knock a wheel off, although you've got rear braking, in fact, it is very ineffective. So Michael Schumacher's going to drive the rest of the circuit as we look. He comes up. I mean, how he's going to get around Blanchimont is beyond me.
Here he goes. He's into Blanchimont now. He's out because he went after brake. Here we go. Let's watch it again.
So let's look as they drop down the hill. They're coming up towards Pouillon corner. There it is. I mean, I don't know whether David lifted off. I don't know whether Michael was just simply unsighted, whether he made a mistake. But certainly,
I mean, he wouldn't make a mistake. David backed off, in my opinion. But I mean, you can hardly blame David for it. Here they're both coming in because David lost his wing by the look of it. He lost his wing, David.
David Coulthard has no rear wing. What we're looking at is the camera on the side of the air intake. So Coulthard into the pits. And his race is over. Michael Schumacher, having driven an absolutely amazing and incredible Grand Prix, is suddenly out, and Mika Hakkinen retains his championship lead.
Yeah, look, just a tad peeve.
Oh, look at this.
Going up to see David.
He is going up to see Coulthard. This is going to be, the team are trying to stop him. He is absolutely, I've never seen Michael Schumacher angry like this in my life, and now the team are saying, Michael, calm down, calm down.
Telling him to
He is going to win. The McLaren team,
off, man. Get out of my way.
The McLaren team will shut the doors. They will not let Coulthard in. Well, they're going to get together, and look at that, the McLaren guys saying, stay away, Michael, don't get involved, this is trouble. And David, tell you what, David Coulthard would stand and face Schumacher.
Of course he would. He's still got his helmet on as well, which makes life, he looks poor. I do feel sorry for that. I feel sorry for David because I'm sure he certainly didn't mean it. But for Schumacher, that was really, really tough. The problem is when you're like that zooming, he was catching him up, remember, coming through, sweeping up, then the guy backs off to let him by, and he just runs in the back of him. I mean, at those speeds and those conditions, here we go again.
I mean, that is just, I mean, that's the most frightening thing. I mean, we've seen this happen on many occasions in many races, but I mean, two guys, you know, a two-time world champion and a guy of David Coulthard's ability and quality, you might expect that on some of the lower formulas, but not at this level. But there we have a new race leader. In fact, regained the lead. Damon Hill and Ralf Schumacher. I mean, Jordan's suddenly all the birthdays look like they're going to come on one day for Jordan. They're going to be, well, they currently are first and second. Alesi is third, Frentzen fourth, Fisichella fifth, and Irvine in sixth place. I mean, there's a long, long way still in this race to go. But, I mean,
It'd be unbelievable for Jordans to pick up the lead in this race. Good for Damon and good for the Ralf Schumacher, the younger brother of Michael. They've just got to keep their heads. That's what we thought Michael was doing, but of course I'm afraid he probably got a little too close to David, but he seemed to be a long way behind him coming into the corner. But he misread it totally. He's saying, get out of my way, man, I'm on my... Don't need you to slow me down, and I know how he feels. It's happened to all of us, but John, hasn't it? I mean, it's the most terrible feeling.
And I think that Michael Schumacher's emotions he suddenly let drop, his emotions. He normally is so controlled, and Eddie Irvine is like, Irvine has spun, and Ferrari's day has been compounded. Irvine off once, off twice, and this time it doesn't look. There he is coming. This is a downhill from the Pujo corner, coming downhill. The water runs across the track there. Did his wheel catch the white line? It did. He caught the curb, and
Once you've done that, your history. Once you've done that, the problem is he has had this terrible visibility situation, being close behind the car there. Off he goes, bouncing all the way across. And does he go in? No, pity if he didn't keep. No, he did. Just nudge it, but he obviously stalled the engine by then.
Yeah, and he had enough. He wouldn't have been able to recover from that part of track.
Of course, you start to wonder about these guys getting all this money, and they keep making these silly mistakes. Now, if I was a very wealthy team or a team owner and the sponsors of the whole lot, I'd be pretty darn upset by now about some of my drivers driving.
Now, what's this? Just an overtaking.
It's an overtaking maneuver going on in Denise. But Denise has been a bit uncautious in some of these moves.
So 3 more retirements. Eddie Irvine, we've just seen that. Michael Schumacher and David Coulthard a lap ago. As they came down to the Pujo corner, and that was the corner, in fact, that Irvine also went off. He caught his wheel on the outside of the curb, and to touch that white paint, there you see those red and white lines. They are absolutely, you must stay away. We've got 8 cars remaining in this year's Belgian Grand Prix. So we're going to take the opportunity and have a quick break as we look at the top 6 on screen. Join us back in Belgium in a moment.
So I always try to keep it simple, because if I forget that person is a beginner and doesn't have the reference of all the knowledge and the years of training that I have, then you just overwhelm the person. So you always have to start with the basics, and one of the basics is a good gas, like Chevron with Techron, because that helps you run your best.
Help your car run its best. Use Chevron with Techron.
It sounds kind of simplistic, but it's really true.
So, you're gonna take your act on the road, huh?
Don't worry.
Well, at Alamo, the going rate is going down.
Drive happy.
All the way down to $25 a day in Florida. And everywhere else in the U.S., just $29 a day. Is this a fun country or what? Call 1-800-GO-ALAMO today.
Don't worry. Drive happy. Drive happy now.
Full-contact European auto racing, an international bestseller.
Attention auto technicians. City Garage has immediate openings for you at its 21 Dallas-Fort Worth locations due to rapid growth. Compare our excellent compensation program and benefits to your shop. Odds are you'll make more money working at City Garage and work closer to home. Work with the latest state-of-the-art technology and take your skills and career to a new level. Join a fast-growing, locally owned and operated team that will appreciate and take care of you. Call 214-331-0344 or pick up an application at any City Garage.
Welcome back here in drama. Giancarlo Fisichella, as he came out of the bus stop chicane, lost control of the Benetton Quaylife. Front suspension off, engine fire, radiators, oil radiators. That is not a serious fire. Marshals deal with it. Safety car, well, I have to say a little bit late in my opinion, but look, again, runs into the back of Shinji Nakano, absolutely unsighted, couldn't stop, locked up, ran into the back. I mean, Giancarlo Fisichella, a mirror of what we almost witnessed, or we did witness with Michael Schumacher and David Coulthard some moments ago. So the safety car finally has been brought out onto this, and I think there's going to be a lot of questions asked, not just by the teams, but by the governing body as to why this race in these conditions there wasn't more consideration given to the difficulty in visibility.
Well, yeah, but there's been worse conditions than this, and the guys have driven it. I don't understand it. I mean, the guys are just too desperate to do something. I mean, obviously the slower car backed off there to let Fisichella by. Fisichella ran into him, but remember, he got the wrong side of him. Was he locked up when he hit him? Who knows? I can't believe the conditions are that bad. I mean, it's not torrential rain. We've seen torrential rain. I mean, if I may say so, at Le Mans we run at 230 miles an hour in torrential downpour as Damon Hill comes in for a stop. The pace car, remember, is out. Damon in the lead, but Ralf Schumacher was catching him up at a second and a half a lap.
Well, they've got 6 cars, I said. As Alesi comes in, Damon Hill goes out. So the order at the point of these two coming in was Damon Hill, Ralf Schumacher, Jean Alesi, Heinz-Harald Frentzen. We've just seen Giancarlo Fisichella lose 5th place, and that's Shant with Nakano. And Jarno Trulli in 5th place.
That's more than they thought today.
6th place.
It would be great to see Denise doing so well and Trulli, but they picked up Ralf Schumacher, have they? No, it's Damon they picked up in the lead car.
Frentzen in the pits. Frentzen comes in. Difficulty getting that left front changed. Power off the jacks. Frentzen goes back out. So Frentzen will also catch up to the tail of this train of 6 cars that remain in this year's Belgian Grand Prix. There we see the remains of Fisichella's Benetton Playlife. It ran into the back of the Minardi and they approached to the bus stop chicane. Similar situation, a driver unsighted. One driver may be trying to help the other driver. We don't know. I'm not convinced that the Minardi would have seen Fisichella coming behind. It's just the conditions are just so bad out there right now that at the kind of speeds that Spa-Francorchamps circuit generates.
Well, of course, it's not good for Spa as a circuit, this, but of course they can control it by pace cars and of course by delaying races and starts the next day as they do in NASCAR.
Team boss Dave Richards greets Fisichella just to ensure that he is okay. I mean, he didn't have any injury to him, we saw that, but I think the fright probably was the biggest moment. So we have now got the track workers looking to...
Oh, look, they're very close together. They're going to be a restart. Let's hope these two don't get involved. We're going to have Pedro Diniz winning the race at this sec.
Yeah. We have to think now, when the pace car, the safety car is on track, the Jordan team will be saying to both drivers, hold station. Now look at the speed that Fisichella's closing up to the back of the Minardi. Whether he locked up or not, I mean, at the speed the Minardi appeared to slow down, completely wrong-footed Fisichella, and really he had little choice. He couldn't go left and go on the inside. He had to go to the right, but of course, the inevitable collision, Derek.
You just don't know how slow that Minardi was going. That was the problem. As you know, from we watching it, he might have been slowing down too soon. I'm sure that's what it was. I can't believe these drivers behind him is judging it so badly. These guys are not judging it that badly, but they're getting too close behind. And then, of course, the car did start to catch a light.
Yeah, the fire, that's just simply a matter of the oil radiators. The oil would, of course, gone onto the exhaust system. The exhausts run at a very high temperature. There again, look at that. I mean, we've seen more carbon fiber. I've never seen as much carbon fiber trashed and shards as I have here today. An absolute unbelievable scene. We're going to take a quick break as Damon Hill continues to lead this race back in Belgium in a moment.
Oh, man. Where's he going? Mountains? River? Both? It's Tuesday. People work on Tuesday.
This is the Midas Gold Muffler. It comes with a Midas lifetime warranty, and it's now just $49.95, $69.95 for select imports. Let's review. Midas Gold Muffler, lifetime warranty, $49.95. Hurry, the price of gold has never been lower.
4 tires, fuel, and out the door.
We asked the hottest guys in the pits to switch antiperspirants.
Ultra Dry Degree, body heat activated.
When your body heat rises degrees, new Ultra Dry form releases extra protection.
Worked better than my old stick. It kept me dry.
Ultra Dry. New from Degree.
In the soul of every Bridgestone Potenza lie the twists and turns of the legendary Formula One Grand Prix courses of the world, the ultimate proving grounds of tyre technology. Using a tapered tread element derived from the Potenza F1 Racing Rain tyre, the Potenza RE910 street tyre handles the road wet or dry. Made with Unity, Bridgestone's ultimate tyre technology. Bridgestone Potenza, technology-driven performance with the soul of Formula One.
Okay, we've got the #1 pregame show. This year, we had Chris. Now we're going to take the whole show on the road all the way to Miami for the Super Bowl. And you guys will travel in style.
Guys?
You guys get the luggage.
Fox NFL Sunday on your local Fox station.
Welcome back to Belgium, where we see Shinji Nakano. He was involved in that shunt a moment or two ago with Giancarlo Fisichella. The Minardi team have got his car in, and they've serviced it, and they've sent him back out. But something even more surprising is that David Coulthard has been serviced as well. He's back on the track, some 5 laps. So we're going to have a little look again and see what caused that incident, which really upset Michael Schumacher. I've never seen him upset. You can't see Schumacher. Suddenly he pops out from the behind of Coulthard. Coulthard, it would appear to have backed off. And of course, Michael Schumacher, unprepared for that sudden deacceleration of the McLaren, had little chance and was fortunate not to actually get into a bigger or more dangerous. This is Fisichella with Shinji Nakano. Fisichella again partly unsighted, but the closing speed of the Benetton over the Minardi was maybe 30-40 mile an hour.
Unbelievable, yeah. I mean, you just don't know why, because the Minardi backed off as if it was in the middle of the road. It was a very unintelligent move, but there's been so many of these moves, it makes you wonder. But the lights are out on the pace car, so of course there will be a start as they come up to La Source this time, or as they come out of this series of chicane, out of the bus stop.
Damon Hill, what are you doing, Damon? You're leading this race. Ralf Schumacher is going to protect you. And almost loses it in acceleration as they come up past the bus stop. The man or men to watch are Alesi and Frentzen.
Yeah, and they've got to keep Alesi behind. Remember, Ralf was lapping. Ralph's gone down the inside. That's just what his brother was doing earlier. Let's not have both of us out of the race, because Eddie will not be happy. Because he's got to keep Alesi at bay. Alesi's the one that can be the damage here, and of course Ralf cannot see, and this is so dangerous going downhill and up through here. He's got to keep his foot in it. Alesi's got a slightly better vision behind.
The climb all the way up to Les Combes. This is the highest part of the racetrack, and even in these conditions, Derek, you're still 190 miles an hour, and that's pretty awesome.
It really is, and of course they've got to get their brakes to work again. They haven't been working for a lap. Alesi closely followed by Frentzen. Alesi, I suppose, unfortunate for Dordens, is having his work cut out, keeping Frentzen behind him, so he's obviously trying to shut the door a bit there, not catching maybe up on Ralf Schumacher the way he would like to. But Damon's got to take it easy. He's driven a brilliant race so far, outstanding race. Ralf is lapping a little quicker before, but let's not overdo it now. But as you said earlier, John, is when you give Damon that lead, give him place up front, he just drives in an outstanding manner. We saw him win the World Championship not so long ago.
Well, what an afternoon of Grand Prix racing we've had this afternoon from Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium. It's the name Spa, of course, refers to the Frentzen nearly loses on the exit of Pujo. Refers to the waters in this area, and we're getting plenty of it. It's played a major part in the outcome of this Grand Prix. Eddie Jordan never won a Grand Prix. Suddenly he's having to deal with the situation, not just winning it, but dominating it. 2 cars, first and second.
Incredible for Eddie. He's the wheeler dealer in Formula One at this time. Frank Williams used to be years ago, but now it's Eddie Jordan's the wheeler dealer, and nobody knows just quite how to take him, but he's got his act together. And as you said just a few minutes ago, the team have all come together this year. They've got Mike Gascoigne's joined them from Tyrrell, and it seems that since he's come on board, they've really got back onto the level with the top drivers, top teams.
Well, I think the big contribution that Mike Gascoigne has brought to the Jordan team is something that they've really lacked for very much their entire career, and that is organisation. There hasn't been the kind of management structure in the Jordan team that other Grand Prix teams employ and enjoy. And the talent of Gary Anderson as a designer, he is a self-made designer. He went to technical college in Coleraine in County Antrim, Northern Ireland. He's self-taught. He is a genius, but of course he needs to work in an environment rather than him having to make decisions which were not his responsibility, but he saw that he was the only person that was doing that. This led to conflict, but the appointment of Mike Gascoigne in the technical side of Jordan has really brought massive change, a turnaround of performance as well as fortune. And this afternoon we're watching a performance which is, well, almost beyond words.
A lovely aerial shot of the car as they came up the hill up to Lake Hom. Ralf Schumacher's settled down a little bit back there, and of course Alesi is slipping back just a little bit more into the clutches of Frenzen and having a few lurid moments out there. But remember, it's very difficult on these fast corners to actually see, when you're following somebody, to see the correct line, to see where it's the best, because as you come up, there's a lot of spray and you want to set yourself up early. It's not as though in wet conditions you can change direction and say, oh, I want to be over there. You've got to be absolutely smooth and immaculate in the rain.
Well, the biggest problem that any one of these 6 remaining, in fact we've got 8, but David Coulthard 5 laps down, and Shinji Nakano, who also came back out after a lot of work in the car.
I just want
the top 6. As we look at the Jordans streaming their way, literally Damon Hill in the lead, Ralf Schumacher in second place, up through Blanchimont, up to complete one more lap. We're going to take a quick break. Join us back in our very wet Spa in a moment.
You might think this start could cause serious engine damage. But surprisingly, this cold engine start could cause more damage. That's why Exxon Superflow Motor Oil races to protect vital engine parts right from the start, when significant engine damage can occur. For these racing teams, there is only one winning formula. Exxon Superflow. For protection that's fast. Protection that lasts.
Home teams, Fox attitude. This is Fox Sports Net.
Pimples, blackheads, zits. What you need is IG.
Chevy is rolling, and leading the way is Mackay Chevrolet. Hundreds of new Suburbans and Tahoes are on their way to a Suburban sale as big as Texas, and rolling in to Mackay Chevrolet. You can buy a 99 Chevy Suburban loaded with options for only $298 a month. Just $42.50 down plus TT&L and $298 a month. That's a GMAC Smart Buy at Mackay Chevrolet. With your new Tahoe or Chevy Suburban, you're gonna get that great Mackay feeling.
The new Fox Family Channel is giving it all away. Win $100,000 for your dream house, a Florida vacation, or over 1,000 other prizes. It's the Getaway House Giveaway. Pick up an entry form at Wendy's. While you're there, try a fresh stuffed pita. Find the mystery character in one of our new shows. Write it down and mail it in. Hurry, the giveaway's gone September 15th. Go to Wendy's and watch Fox Family Channel.
Catch it on Warner Cable.
Welcome back to the Belgian Grand Prix at Spa. Francorchamps, Jean Alesi currently in 3rd place. It's hardcore football on Fox Sportnet, Tuesday at 8 p.m. on Fox Sportnet. Check your local listings. Well, Johnny Herbert's not checking the listings for hardcore football. He's looking and wondering, what could I have done had I not bumped into Mika Häkkinen in that restart? And I think there's a lot of drivers today, Derek, are going to look to themselves and say, what if?
What if only, but... And of course, if it wasn't for the other guys, if I'd been on my own, I'd have had such a good time.
Well, 9 laps to go, and although we've got 6 serious runners, we've still got David Coulthard and Shinji Nakano literally boating their way around. I've never seen this track as wet for as long for a motor race as we're seeing today. There's more, 6 runners plus 2 walking wounded, might call them. But the 22 starters is 14 cars out of this Grand Prix. The retirement rate probably more to do with driver error or unforced driver error in some cases, and will be very forced in others. But Damon Hill has not driven as majestically a Grand Prix, Derek, since last year in Hungary when he led that Grand Prix up until a couple of laps from the end when he had some hydraulic problems and finished second.
Yes, he's doing an absolutely beautiful job today, and I mean, these conditions, you've seen the best in the world go off the road, so to see Damon out there controlling it, and he hasn't really put a foot wrong the whole way. Ralph has hardly done it. It's outstanding to see a man do such a great job, but he is the most experienced man out there, and therefore you expect that sort of drive from him.
And also, in terms of age, he is a senior citizen by Grand Prix ages these days, 37, 38 in September, and just got a new contract from the Jordan team for next year. And well, should he go on and take victory here for Jordan and Mugen Honda, what a fantastic achievement. It hasn't been an easy season for Damon and Jordan. There was a lot of criticism, both internally in the team and externally from the pundits, that Damon's only good when everything suits him. He didn't make the kind of commitment that the team hoped he would make. But certainly one thing is clear today, Damon Hill and Ralf Schumacher have driven out of their skins.
Yeah, well, Ralph's best result of his career was third in Argentina last year. And remember that rather contentious coming together with his teammate Fisichella at that point. So second today, if they can get it, would be magnificent.
Just looking at Eddie Jordan on the pit lane, I don't know whether he's more worried about winning this race or what's going to happen in the celebrations after the race is over. Now, for many, many years, people in Formula One have been waiting for a Jordan Grand Prix victory. And anybody who wins their maiden Grand Prix sometimes will experience the mischievousness, let's say, of other teams, rival teams, even on a wet day like this, even in a day when McLaren have fallen by the wayside, Ferrari have, Williams have struggled. There will certainly be a surprise, I'm sure, in store, as well as all the enjoyment for the Jordan boss.
It's rather mixed here for Alesi, because he would love to get third place for his team, but remember, he's been third, second, and he's won Grand Prix, so it's no big deal, but I'm sure he would like to get up there and maybe pop a second place in just for his own morale right now.
Derek, the gap, in fact, between Damon Hill leading and Jean Alesi in third is actually closing up. We've seen Damon Hill opened up a big gap, but that gap is now, Ralph is much closer. Look at Alesi. Yeah. So suddenly, as we come into the 8 laps to go, look at the tension in the Jordan pits. Well, this Grand Prix, Derek, is not over by any means.
Well, it's because, of course, Damon was fairly relaxed up there, and it's because Alesi's pressuring them, putting in quicker laps than them, and he's catching right up, and he's making Damon have to get on it a little bit more, and you can see here.
And Damon had a moment during one of our commercial breaks. He had a big lock-up going in, and in fact, he couldn't turn into the chicane. He had to go over the grass, got back on track, no damage to the car that we're aware of. But you don't know it. Maybe it did just give a little tweak to some of the aerodynamics, and that could have seen the balance, the aerodynamic balance of the car change.
Well, Alesi's just picked up 0.8 of a second on that lap on Damon. So, you know, he's putting a little bit of pressure on these guys, and that's, you know, that's motor racing. Alesi is a very experienced driver. I mean, he's been through some pretty thick and some pretty tough races in his career. He's a great guy to have around. Sometimes one wonders a little bit about what goes on inside the head on certain occasions, but right now he's certainly in there doing a magnificent job.
Well, I'm surprised that Damon's allowed Ralf Schumacher and therefore Jean Alesi to close up, and I just think back. I mean, what is he doing? I mean,
yeah, but John, you've been there in the wet, and so have I. And look at Ralph's all over the back here now. Ralph's got to make a decision in a minute. Do I go by or what? Do I go by Damon because Alesi's catching me? What does he do? He's in a very, very difficult position. I don't envy Ralph the dilemma he's found himself in, because look, here he goes. Is he going to have a look at Damon? No, not yet, but he may well do so.
Well, there will be very strict team orders, and if Ralf Schumacher did pass Damon Hill, that's one thing. He can sort that out afterward. He can argue with Eddie Jordan until the cars come home. If he were to take out Damon Hill, or Damon Hill and Ralf Schumacher get together and lose the prospect of victory, then that would be a travesty. And Ron Dennis now, I don't know what he's going to say to Eddie Jordan, but I mean, Ron makes deals on the hoof. He did it last year with Williams in the European Grand Prix at Jerez.
He can't be making a deal now. He's just sort of saying to Eddie, what the heck are you going to do about this? You've got Alesi catching up. But you see, I think that Ralph pushing Damon like that has just urged Damon on a bit. Remember, Damon can't see behind him that well until he slows right down for La Source or that chicane. So he only now does he really know how close that Alesi is. He doesn't know what happens on the faster parts of the circuit. So obviously he's taking it he doesn't want to overdrive, does he? The last thing he needs is to go over the grass again at the bus stop, and he'll lose the lead of a Grand Prix, and he needs it. But Alesi is certainly piling it on. Look at that, nice tight inside line. That's the line that Michael had took before, and he could really make up some ground on the car in front, get stability going down the hill. But this is where Alesi's going to find it difficult in the spray going up here.
We know that Eddie Irvine did an enormous amount of development work at Fiorano. That's the Ferrari test track over the last 2 weeks, developing these wet weather tires. So I hope everybody in Jordan and Sauber make their emotions felt to Goodyear, who have done an absolutely superb job in what is considered still to be their final year in Formula One. I still wait to see whether that's going to be the case. There are rumours that the purchase of the Dunlop Tire Company may see Dunlop into Formula One. That's something that's a pretty speculative rumour. But as Damon Hill continues to lead this Grand Prix with a shrinking lead, we're going to take a commercial break and join us back in a moment in Belgium.
The tallest mountain in North America is 20,320 feet. Cool.
Four wheels, two wheels, all wheels in the air, or no wheels at all. Duke Video's got it. For a free catalog of the largest and most spectacular collection of auto and motorcycle racing videotapes in the world, call 1-800-DUKE-USA now. The best of Formula One, sports cars, motorcycle racing, historic races and documentaries, legendary drivers and riders, great marks, extreme videos, rally, over 600 video titles. Call 1-800-DUKE-USA for a free catalog. Grand Prix Tours is your VIP pass to the thrilling world of Formula One. Call 888-RACES-F1 now for a free 48-page brochure. Watch the race from the best locations, stay at top-quality hotels, dine at elegant restaurants, attend our exclusive cocktail parties hosted by Formula One drivers and race commentators, enjoy dazzling theme parties and talk shows. Call now. Grand Prix Tours is your VIP pass to Formula One.
If you had $40,000, would you pay off your bills, make home improvements, or keep some for emergencies? Well, at First Plus, you can get up to $40,000 or more with no equity required. And you can get pre-qualified right now. Here's how.
Do you own your home? Do you have good credit? Do you want to pay off your bills and lower your monthly payments?
If you said yes to all 4 questions, call First Plus now. Tell them you're pre-qualified to apply for the money you need. Call First Plus at 1-800-510-PLUS.
Welcome back to the Belgian Grand Prix, where Damon Hill continues to lead. But every Saturday night it's English Soccer Premier League on Fox Sportnet. Sundays at 7 p.m. on Fox Sportnet. Check your local listings. We just had a view of Ron Dennis joining Eddie Jordan. This is a very special moment in the life, probably the greatest moment, I would say, Derek, in Eddie Jordan's entire 48-year career, I think it is.
Look at Coulthard going out wide. Coulthard's overtaken Alesi right up behind the two Jordans, but then he went out very wide. So I don't know what that was about. Yeah, I mean, what a wonderful moment for Eddie Jordan. Absolutely magnificent. I mean, to have the focus.
Oh, Damon! Oh, my God! Dear me.
Catching up truly there, who's way, way behind in the frost. But of course, he daren't back off on the hill, blew much as they're going to go whistling by him and sheer momentum at the top. But it's no good if you're on 3 wheels.
We have seen Schumacher and Coulthard, we have seen Fisichella and Nakano, and there we almost saw Jarno Trulli, Damon Hill race leader, and then that was, talking about heart in the mouth. When Eddie probably, his hair would have turned grey at the thought of that one.
Yes, he certainly wouldn't have liked that one, would he? He's quieting down. He was laughing a minute ago, laughing at the certain time.
Well, it's going to be probably the most popular Grand Prix win of the year. In fact, it will be without any doubt. And those are the guys who worked, I have to say, tirelessly. Eddie tends to be the showman. He's up front. He's the raconteur. He's the entrepreneur. But the guys back of the team have done such an enormous job to turn this team around. So after 42 laps, we're on the penultimate lap. 43 of 44. Damon Hill leads, Ralf Schumacher second, Alesi third, Frentzen fourth, Pedro Diniz fifth, and Jarno Trulli, who almost took out this man, Damon Hill. 2 laps remaining. What a moment, not only to win your team's first Grand Prix, to come first and second. Damon Hill, well, it sort of brought his career back to light a little bit. Last time he won a Grand Prix was in Japan when he won his World Championship, 1996. He went to Arrow's team, had a great race in Hungary, and then joined Jordan. Didn't really come together, but suddenly in the last 3 Grand Prix, this resurrection is going to be the resurrection team.
Oh, absolutely. And of course, Damon, we talk of him even going back to Williams. He said, I haven't had any calls yet. And it's Ralph behind him who will probably go to Williams after all this. David Coulthard's not going to get in the middle of these two and muck it up with only a lap to go. But just to show that the McLaren just has that pace and would have been running away from these guys if they hadn't been involved in about 3 crashes apiece.
Well, ifs and buts are not a part of the vocabulary of motor racing. It's the result on the day that matters. They're on the final lap. Damon Hill, for the last time in racing mode, drops down from La Source Happen all the way down this hill, down into Eau Rouge. They'll be taking it flat today. It'll be very, very tippy-toes all the way through. Ralf Schumacher just over a second behind. And almost a heart-stopping moment as he came over the radio. Now the long climb uphill. This very quick straight, over 200 miles an hour in practice and dry conditioned. On the brakes, turn right into Lecum, then left into Malmedy. And right in the drop down to the Rivage corner. One of those corners you never really get the car in, you never feel getting it right, do you?
This is the 127th start for Jordan in Grand Prix starts, and it could well be their first victory if Damon Hill can just keep that car on the road. Ralph obviously is not going to make any moves to go by, but as Damon comes down now towards the Pouillon and then out as he goes, very cautiously going down now. Doesn't want to overdo it at all. Careful on those downshifts. You can still lock a brake up. You can still go off the road. There's a lot of water out there. He's got to be very, very cautious.
Yes, it is. And it's so easy just to catch a curb. You can just almost be overcautious in a situation like this. You're trying not to go too quickly. You don't need to now. Jean Alesi is out of contention. Now the Jordan team climb onto the pit wall. This is a moment that every member of that team will remember for the rest of their lives. History has been made here at Spa-Francorchamps today. This is the first Irish team, as opposed to Irish driver, the first Irish team. In fact, it's the only Irish team in Formula One to take Grand Prix victory. Eddie Jordan came into Formula One in 1991. And what a moment. This is going to be absolutely the greatest moment in the
Well, it does bring a grin. It does bring a grin to your face to see sort of a mid-range team. We call it not one of the top teams, midfield team coming through with a first and second. Don't forget, Damon was third quickest in qualifying, and now he is up there winning the race. Outstanding.
Damon Hill for Jordan, Ralf Schumacher for Jordan, 1-2 for Jordan Mugen Honda. An absolutely magnificent, superb drive, superb team effort. Look at the joy in the pit. Eddie is overwhelmed. He can't believe it. Look. Well, Eddie, it's true. You're now a winner in Grand Prix racing. You won in Formula 3000. You won in Formula 3. The paddock will be over the moon. They're delighted for you. So many people may have won this race, but you and your team did the business. Join us back here in Spa, Belgium in a moment to see the celebrations.
In the soul of every Bridgestone Potenza lie the twists and turns of the legendary Formula One Grand Prix courses of the world, the ultimate proving grounds of tyre technology. Using a tapered tread element derived from the Potenza F1 Racing Rain tyre, the Potenza RE910 street tyre handles the road wet or dry. Made with Unity, Bridgestone's ultimate tyre technology. Bridgestone Potenza, technology-driven performance with the soul of Formula One.
Hey, don't work too late, kid. Thanks.
Slow-crafted Sam Adams. All in due time.
On the football field, I can smell fear a mile away. And here I smell fear too. And it stinks.
But I ain't it. I'm afraid to try Zest Body Wash.
Listen, smelly boy. Zest gets you cleaner and more refreshed.
But I ain't it. I need some serious lather.
Look here. It takes 9 bars to get as much cleaner rinsing lather as Zest Body Wash with Lather Thingy.
Get cleaner, more refreshed with Zest Body Wash.
Now that's zestfully clean.
Here's a back-to-school sale you're going to love. DeMontron's annual Driver's Ed car sale. These driver's education vehicles are in great shape with low mileage, and we have our best selection in years, including 98 Olds, Intrigues, and Cutlasses for $3,500 off MSRP. 98 Olds 88s for $5,000 off MSRP. Visit either DeMontron location today. I-45 North at Airtex in Houston or I-45 at Gladsdale Road in Conroe.
You won't find a better deal.
Heavyweight. Weeknights at 10.
The Grand Prix of Belgium on Fox Sportsnet has been brought to you by Toyota. Every day belongs to you. Make it count. Toyota, every day. So let's have a look at the results from this unbelievable Belgian Grand Prix. Damon Hill, Ralf Schumacher win for Jordan. Emphatically, Jean Alesi third for Sauber. Frentzen makes it to fourth place. Pedro Diniz fifth. Jarno Trulli, the last of the point scorers, and sixth. Coulthard and Nakano are classified. Well, Damon Hill, this is one of his moments of, let's say, temperance. But delight really in the Jordan team. Ralf Schumacher, he's a bit restrained. Eddie Jordan just to the left. But John Alesi and Derek, interestingly, all three Jordan drivers in their time. John Alesi won the 3000 championship back in '89. But there, Damon Hill back on the winner's podium. It's been a long drought for the former world champion. Congratulates and receives from Jean Alesi.
Yeah, he did a really outstanding job, of course, and Eddie Jordan must be delighted the first time he's picked up that trophy. But, I mean, Damon did a super job. Remember, he was third quickest in qualifying. He was there strong at the start of the race. All the time, he's done a magnificent job all weekend. So Ralph can't be too disappointed that he wasn't allowed to go by. Remember, Damon was driving a conservative race as well. He didn't want to go off the road, so why should he push himself?
Well, a great race from Damon Hill and Ralf Schumacher, and they are there on the podium. They're there on merit. They didn't luck in. Okay, Michael Schumacher and David Coulthard, maybe it would have been a different result, but the fact is these three guys brought their car home in appalling conditions. So the top six remain unchanged. Hakkinen leads by 7 points from Michael Schumacher. That's the battle for the championships, which will now go to Monza in 2 weeks' time. In the Manufacturers' Championship, again, nothing at the top changes, but Williams moved from fourth to third by 1 point over Benetton. But Jordan, they're the big winners. They gained 16 points to consolidate in fifth and challenge Benetton and Williams. So looking at those scenes of joy and celebration, we're going to take a commercial break. Join us back in Belgium in a moment.
European auto racing, an international bestseller.
This is the Midas Gold Muffler. It comes with a Midas lifetime warranty, and it's now just $49.95, $69.95 for select imports. Let's review. Midas Gold Muffler, lifetime warranty, $49.95. Hurry, the price of gold has never been lower.
4 tires, fuel, and out the door.
We asked the hottest guys in the pits to switch antiperspirants.
Ultra Dry Degree, body heat activated.
When your body heat rises degrees, new Ultra Dry form releases extra protection.
Work better than my old stick.
It kept me dry. Ultra Dry.
New from Degree.
Locked between the methanol haze and the stench of smoldering rubber, the war rages on. An abbreviated battle between moments in time, riding the rhythm, the song, the dance, the restless beating of a sweep second hand, fighting fractions of seconds. Tick, tick.
Who knows what tomorrow may bring? Welcome to the future.
4 wheels, 2 wheels, all wheels in the air, or no wheels at all. Duke Video's got it. For a free catalog of the largest and most spectacular collection of auto and motorcycle racing videotapes in the world, call 1-800-DUKE-USA now. The best of Formula One, sports cars, motorcycle racing, historic races and documentaries, legendary drivers and riders, great marks, extreme videos, rally, over 600 video titles. Call 1-800-DUKE-USA for a free catalog.
Welcome back to Belgium, but let's go very quickly to the press conference to hear Damon Hill.
Well, Damon, what a fantastic race for you. The last time you won was when you clinched the World Championship back in 1996. And Jordan have waited for 126 races before their first win, so what an awesome achievement for you.
Well, I mean, I'm very, very happy, obviously. It was a great day for Jordan. 1-2 is a fantastic result. We were strong all weekend. And it was a very exciting race. I'm absolutely delighted. I'm really quite lost for words, actually.
Can we go back to the start of the race now? I mean, tell us about the second start when you managed to get in the lead there.
Yeah, I mean, I made a mess of the first start, but they aborted it because of the crash. So I got lucky on the first start, but I made a beautiful second start. And once I was away, I was looking good. And the trouble was, I'd set up for a race that was going to be getting drier. And it just continued to rain, and that really made my race very difficult.
You had a bit of a battle with Michael Schumacher at the beginning of the race. What did you think a few laps later when you came around the corner and saw him limping home with just 3 tyres left on his car?
Well, I didn't actually see his car, but I mean, I heard he was out of the race, so you know, you don't have time to get too emotional about things. It's just it's a very you know, responsible position when you're in the lead, so I focused on what I needed to do to keep the lead.
Towards the end of the race, you had Ralph following up closely behind you. Was Ralph ever going to challenge you, or were you settled on a 1-2 finish at that stage?
Well, it was always going to be quite close when they brought the safety car out, so I knew that Ralph was going to be pushing me all the way, and he didn't have much space behind John, so I had to push as hard as I could. Then it started to get a bit dry, and the tyres started to go off, and so I was under pressure all the way.
Well, Damon, well done. Thank you.
Join Fox Sport Net on Sunday, September the 13th at 10 a.m. for round 14, the Italian Grand Prix at Monza. And I can guarantee you emotions will be high there. But Derek, these pictures, these are just really scary even now.
Well, it's frightening. We've seen it so many times on the replays, but look at Coulthard there as he goes around with no wheels. He went completely from the left side of the track, the right side of the track, back to the left. No wonder everybody hit everybody. There was nowhere for them to go, and they all just got involved. How Irvine got there, I'm not sure, but it looked like maybe he was very close to David at the start. But look at it, and Rosset piling in just to make sure he's part of the party. This is the second start, but look at Damon coming down the outside of Hakkinen, makes it tight for Miko as they go in there, but he makes it even tighter for him as Schumacher comes up as well. Damon takes it very cautiously, but Hakkinen tries to push Michael across the road into the guardrail, but doesn't make it, spins himself. What a silly move that was.
But this is the moment when Michael Schumacher, leading the Grand Prix, found himself on a 3-wheel Ferrari. Frightening moment for the 2-time world champion and David Coulthard. He made it back to the pits. From this point on, it was all about Damon Hill and Jordan. They took control of this race. They've been competitive all weekend, dominated. John Alesi did a fine job for the Sauber Petronas team to take 3rd place. But for Eddie Jordan, his dreams come true. I'm John Watson for Derek Bell and Peter Winter. We hope you enjoyed Belgium. Join us in the future.
Time's wasting. Let's go look at the car. First thing you notice is the simplicity under the hood. Color-coded dipstick so you don't have to look like one trying to find it. Everything is features and benefits. Ever had to change a timing belt? Not here. It's steel. Now I can talk an hour on this car. Saturn has a safety cage that embraces the whole car. Safety, safety, equipped with crumble zones on the front and the back. Safety, side impact protection system. Safety, stabilizer bar keeps the car level. Safety, anti-submarining rear seat ramp. Safety, polymer, polymer, polymer. Wait a second, there's more.
Players Island Casino,
the only full-service hotel in Lake Charles,
invites you to stay and play.
Call now to reserve a deluxe room in our lakefront hotel any Sunday through Thursday for just $39 a night.
Enjoy Las Vegas-style excitement and our 8-acre tropical paradise.
Visit Coconut Sports Bar.
Relax around 2 lakefront swimming pools.
Or visit one of 5 fabulous restaurants.
Of course, complimentary valet parking.
Courteous bellman to handle your luggage.
and room service will make any occasion extra special.
Plus, every guest receives a free Players Island Casino Fun Book.
It's full of valuable coupons.
A $60 value.
Absolutely free.
So have some fun.
During our sizzling summer special.
For just $39 a night.
But you better hurry because this offer ends soon.
For information and advance reservations, call now. 1-800-977-PLAY.
Players Island Casino.
Where the winning is easy.
Hey, where's my ball?
Okay, first off, I want to welcome the new guys to Region 29. Plus, let's hear it for Chuck, who persuaded his 100th customer to try a sourdough jack. We ordered that eye, Chucky. Steve-O?
Okay, just a reminder from Jack, you may call these sourdough slices toasty but not crunchy. The patty is juicy, cheese is melted, and the bacon count is 4 pieces. Any questions?
Okay, let's be safe out there. Watch out for cats.
Home team's Fox Attitude. You're watching Fox Sports Southwest.
Today, a rewind triple header. Juan Gonzalez talks about a season spent chasing Hack Wilson's RBI record.
Nothing's impossible.
The Anaheim Angels' Croy Percival tells me how his dad groomed him to be a closer in Little League.
I was the one that he brought in bases loaded in the last inning.
As the NFL season approaches, it's time to get on the bus. The Pittsburgh Steelers' Jerome Bettis talks openly about his love affair with Steeler fans.
You see me, beating up people, and they love that.
And you'll find out what it means to be a baseball fan in New York City.
The Yankees got a good shortstop for me.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Bucky Dent? Yeah, he's pretty good. What about Nettles over at third?
He's all right, too.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. I'm Steve Lyons, and welcome to Rewind. First up, a powerful hitter, the Texas Rangers' Juan Gonzalez. Now, this guy puts up unbelievable offensive numbers. In his first 7 years in the major leagues, he averaged 36 homers and 110 RBIs a season. But this year, wow. With 100 RBIs at the All-Star break, Gonzalez had a great shot at breaking Hack Wilson's 1930 all-time record of 190. What makes it all the more amazing is the fact that the Latin American-born Gonzalez is succeeding in a country where English is his second language. At 28 years old, he's not only the offensive force behind the Rangers, the team revolves around him. A lot of people talk about how you've stepped up. You're now, this is your team. You're the team leader now. Wasn't always like that.
Because before, inexperience, I have more experience. I'm mature a lot, I understand more the role of the leadership right now, and I'm working hard, but I'm the leader quiet, quiet leader. I don't like to talk a lot because I talk in home play and there in the outfield. I don't like to talk a lot, but I feel real comfortable.
Yeah, you're talking at home plate. The RBIs, right now, Mark McGwire's getting a lot of the publicity, but you're right there. The home runs and the RBIs. I heard a story where they said you might break Hack Wilson's record of 190 RBIs, and you said, who's that?
Absolutely. I never listened about Hack Wilson before. Right now, a couple of months now, everybody talk about how Hack Wilson RBI records. It's tough. It's not easy, but the thing is, I continue to play my game day by day, and more concentration on men on bases, and nothing is impossible.
Plus, you're a great bad ball hitter. I don't have to throw you a strike, and you can still hit the ball out of the park. You can hit this pitch, you can hit that pitch. You're up there hacking, but you are more patient now than ever before.
Absolutely. I have a lot of patience when home play, especially with men on bases, because my job is driving room in, and when I go to the home plate, in my mind is see the ball hitting hard. No matter what kind of pitch, outside, inside, high or low. Concentration, see the ball hitting hard, and I feel real comfortable on home plate, and I'm feeling very well.
I've heard a story that you are thinking about sometime later on running for mayor of your hometown in Puerto Rico.
I like political a lot, but You know, I like helping poor people and suffer people there in Puerto Rico. I don't have an idea right now when I'm running for mayor in my hometown. Never know after retiring, but it's too soon right now.
You've worked very hard on your English. Is that important to you to be able to communicate and be a leader on this team in a language that's your second language? How important is that for you to continue to improve your English?
Yeah, it's very important because when I grow up, you know, it's a lot of very difficult for myself. More communication for my teammates, press, more people. But right now I'm learning a lot. You know, I have better communication. I have the people understand myself a lot. You know, I feel better right now. I feel real happy because I talk. You know, have a communication for my team and for everybody.
I want you keep going, man.
Right.
Good luck
Thank
to you.
You, man.
Right?
Thanks
for the time. Well, I can see it now. They'll call him Mayor Gonzo in Vega Baja, his hometown in Puerto Rico. Actually, his popularity there is rivaled only by hometown buddy and Ranger catcher Ivan Rodriguez. That is some kind of baseball factory down there. When we return, Anaheim Angels relief ace Troy Percival. Besides being one of the best closers in the game, he has a brown belt in karate. I wonder if that's why nobody ever charges the mound when he's pitching.
I go out there and I do my job as best I can, as intense as I can. You know, I haven't charged any hitters yet either, so we'll see where that goes.
Rewind on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by Puma Cell 5.0. Available now at Foot Locker and Kids Foot Locker.
Hey, don't work too late, kid. Thanks.
Slow-crafted Sam Adams. All in due time.
If you have hard water and you're using this leading gold deodorant bar, your skin may not be as clean as you think. That's why you need Zest. See, these deodorant soaps combine with the minerals in hard water to leave a soap residue that can coat your skin. But Zest is made to capture those minerals and rinse them clean away. So skin is cleaner, more refreshed. Now that's zestfully clean.
So, you're gonna take your act on the road, huh?
Don't worry.
Well, at Alamo, the going rate is going down.
Drive happy.
All the way down to $25 a day in Florida. And everywhere else in the U.S., just $29 a day. Is this a fun country or what? Call 1-800-GO-ALAMO today.
Don't worry. Drive happy. Drive happy now.
Make the smart move. Join the thousands of truck owners who've already put the load handler to work. Whether big or small, Load Handler works on any truck. From groceries to gravel, Load Handler handles every load. I'm Terry Jones, president of Load Handler Industries, and I personally guarantee your satisfaction. If you own a truck, you need a load handler. So make the smart move and call for your local Load Handler dealer today.
Howie won an Emmy 2 years ago. JB and I, we have won one. We have been nominated.
Kind of like, what's her name? Susan Lucci. She's my favorite. He's my favorite.
That'll put the crowd in it. Jason Kendall and the Bucks are looking to change their fortune, but Craig Biggio and the Astros seem to have all the luck.
This will get out right now.
Oh, man. Don't tell me that's a rabbit's foot.
Don't worry. It wasn't anyone we knew.
Ugh.
Let's kick some tail.
Pirates Astros, today at 1:30 on Fox Sports Southwest.
Welcome back. Up next, one of the most intense guys in all of baseball, the Anaheim Angels fireman Troy Percival. Now, his dad was a real-life fireman and coached him from an early age how to put out fires from the pitcher's mound. In 1996, his first year as the Angels stopper, Percival converted 36 of 39 save opportunities. He also led the Angels with a 2.31 ERA. Now, he made his first All-Star appearance that year and returned this season to close out the game for the victorious American League.
That does it. High heat finishes Alou. The American League wins for the second time in a row.
Does it give you a special thrill knowing that you're representing your team in that game and you go out and close down the ninth?
Yeah, it does. I mean, like I said, I'm not there unless my team gets me in that position. So, I went there and I had a great time with it. I can't say I didn't. It was a good time, and it's fun to go out and shut the door on that game.
I think maybe that might be the one word that defines who you are when you get in a game: focused. When people say that you have a closer's mentality, is that the greatest compliment that you can have?
I have my own mentality when I'm out there. Lee Smith had his own, and I learned a lot from him. But we all do our own thing out there.
Tell me a little bit about that, because you did set up Lee Smith, one of the best ever, and you kind of learned from him. What were the things that he was able to pass on to you?
Demeanor a lot. After a tough loss, or even after, when you try and keep everything in focus and don't get too high, don't get too low, and stay with it. And, I've never seen anybody better at it than him.
I think one of the best things you can do as a closer is that if you blow a save, you blow it off. It's got to be tough, though. I mean, you got to forget about it and come back the next day and do it. How tough is that?
Yeah, you can't. You can't always do it. I mean, you got to, by the time you come to the ballpark, you got to be okay. Sometimes it takes all night. You go back, you rehash them, but when you come to the park the next day, you got to want the ball again and go back at it.
Do you think it's kind of ironic that your dad was a fireman for, 30 years? Technically, that's what they call you, a fireman on the ball field. That's kind of a weird analogy, isn't it?
Yeah, my dad was a huge influence in my life. Whether or not it had anything to do with the way I do my job out here, it probably is, but I guess it could be. That's my song when I come out, the fireman. So
he was one of your biggest influences as a ball player too, right? He was one of your best coaches, wasn't he?
He was my coach all the way through up until I hit high school, and probably got me into this role. I was the one that he brought in, bases loaded in the last inning, 1 out, 2 outs, whatever it was. And I kind of got prepared for that, for this role.
I know that Lou Piniella has compared you to Goose Gossage. Is that a compliment to you?
Best compliment I can have. That's one of my idols as far as the way he pitched out there. Just come at you with everything he's got, doesn't give in, and I had a lot of respect for the way he pitched.
In your 4 years here, you've really taken on a leadership role in the bullpen. I know that at times this bullpen has struggled, but you're the first one to stand up and say, hey, get off these guys.
Well, it's kind of hard. I did that role as a setup guy, and I haven't done the middle roles, but there's no glory in it. So to have them get beat up when they have a bad outing and get no praise when they do a good outing, it's not right, especially the way they go about their business out there. For me, I want the ball in the last inning. If we're going to win or lose, I want to be the one on the mound to do it. And I'm sure we have other guys on the team that want that as well. I mean, it just comes from wanting the ball and wanting to win. So for me, yeah, I'm right where I want to be.
All right, let's get to the Rewind 5 and ask you about, if we made the movie version of your life, who plays you?
I tell you what, I don't think there's any actors in bad enough shape to do it. I don't know, John Goodman maybe?
You're not looking that bad.
I don't know. I don't know. I really like the movie Sling Blade, and I got a chance to meet Billy Bob Thornton. It may not look like me, but I like that a lot.
What's your worst habit?
Probably come to the ballpark every day at noon. I know.
Too dedicated?
You ask anybody else, well, don't you like your wife? I'm like, no, it's just understanding this is the way that I do my business. And, I have a whole off season to be at home, and I want to be here.
If your house is on fire and it's burning down, you got your family out and everyone's safe, what's the one thing you go back in and get?
Well, if my house is burned down, I'm calling my dad and yelling at somebody. But
that's right. Where's he at?
Yeah, get over here. I don't have any personal items that I treasure that much, maybe other than my cars. I'm pulling them out of the garage.
What are you driving?
I got a 67 Camaro and a big truck.
What would you say to this point in your life is your biggest regret?
You know what? I've got a dream life. There's not a whole lot of regrets out there.
What was the last CD you bought?
George Strait.
Country guy.
Oh, yeah.
All right, man. Thanks a lot. Keep working.
Right.
George Strait, huh? All my exes live in Texas. Unlike George Strait, Percival is happily married to his wife, Michelle, and he lives in Corona, California. When we return, Pittsburgh Steeler running back Jerome Bettis. Now, he's always been a great football player, but growing up, he had more than bowling over would-be tacklers on his mind.
I loved it, and that was something that I felt I wanted to do, professionally. I wanted to be a professional bowler. If you ask me what I want to do when I grow up, I want to be a professional bowler.
Players Island Casino,
the only full-service hotel in Lake Charles,
invites you to stay and play.
Call now to reserve a deluxe room in our lakefront hotel any Sunday through Thursday for just $39 a night.
Enjoy Las Vegas-style excitement and our 8-acre tropical paradise.
Visit Coconut Sports Bar.
Relax around 2 lakefront swimming pools.
Or visit one of 5 fabulous restaurants.
Of course, complimentary valet parking.
Courteous bellman to handle your luggage.
And room service will make any occasion extra special.
Plus, every guest receives a free Players Island Casino fun book.
It's full of valuable coupons.
A $60 value.
Absolutely free.
So have some fun.
During our sizzling summer special.
For just $39 a night.
But you better hurry because this offer ends soon.
For information and advance reservations, call now. 1-800-977-PLAY.
Players Island Casino.
Where the winning is easy.
Rise and shine.
Fox Sports News brings you the fastest half hour of sports power. Fox Sports News this morning. Woo! With highlights and scores, plus our up-to-the-minute Fox Sports News ticker with all the latest breaking stories every half hour.
Hot off the grill. We are cooking.
Got 30 minutes? We've got your sports. Fox Sports News this morning. Weekdays starting at 6.
We'd like to invite you and your family to come to the new home of Gallery Furniture, Phase 2 of the Gallery Furniture Showroom at 6006 I-45 North between Tidwell Parker.
When you see a place this big, you're thinking your selection is going to be unlimited, and it is. I've never seen a furniture store this big.
The new showroom is gorgeous. We bought our mattress today. We're going to sleep on it tonight.
We've bought a brand new home, and this is the perfect place to come to buy your furniture.
I bought it today. I'm getting it this evening. That's Gallery Furniture.
Grand opening Phase 2 of Gallery saves you money.
Chevy is rolling, and leading the way is Mackay Chevrolet. Hundreds of new Suburbans and Tahoes are on their way to a Suburban sale as big as Texas and rolling in to Mackay Chevrolet. You can buy a 99 Chevy Suburban loaded with options for only $298 a month. Just $42.50 down plus TT&L and $298 a month. That's a GMAC Smart Buy at Mackay Chevrolet. With your new Tahoe or Chevy Suburban, you're going to get that great Mackay feeling.
Turn our attention to football. As the NFL season prepares to kick off, all eyes are on the bus, Jerome Bettis. Now he's going to try to improve upon his 1997 season of over 1,600 rushing yards. And I might add, a season in which he was also one of the best fantasy football picks that I've ever had. All right, Jerome, I got to tell you right off the get-go that you helped me out a lot this year on my rotisserie team because first pick was Favre, then Young, and I took a flyer on you. And you came through big time for me. You had a great year.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But you should have, believed in me.
I did. That's why I picked it, and you were looking good. Now, how about Chan Gailey, who takes the head coaching job, leaves the Pittsburgh Steelers, and goes down to Dallas? How surprising was that?
It was surprising because he wasn't thought about in the selection process until late. And so, us as players, we didn't think that there was going to be a dramatic change, a drastic change from last year to this next year coming up.
Was Pittsburgh in a situation where this town, great football town, they were just waiting for a guy like you? They had the Franco Harris years, guys that, and they had Barry Foster after that, but nobody like Franco Harris who would just soon run over a guy rather than go around him. And Pittsburgh seems like the kind of town that wants a guy that, hey, you give me the ball, I'm running over you. I don't care about sidestepping anyone.
The one thing you have to understand about Pittsburgh is that it's a blue-collar town. I mean, they love the guy that goes in there, puts his hard hat on, goes to work every day. He doesn't look for the glamour and the glitz or the gold, so to speak. He just goes out there and works. And that's what I do. And I think I kind of have that image that personifies Pittsburgh. I mean, I'm blue collar. You don't see any 60, 70-yard runs out of me. You see 4 yards, a cloud of smoke. You see 6 yards. You see me, beating up people. And they love that, and they really enjoy that. And I think that's what Pittsburgh is all about. So, when they see the bus and they love the phrase the bus, and they really have a real good time, a truly good time enjoying the punishment that I put on people.
Your parents, your background, they introduced you to bowling to keep you off the streets as a kid. You're an avid bowler now. Tell me a little bit about that, the influence that they had on you and the things that they helped you make decisions with.
Well, the streets of Detroit was pretty rough, and so my mother tried to develop another avenue for me in terms of taking my time and so I wouldn't make the wrong decisions out there on the streets. And so it was a good diversion. I like to think it was, and I loved it. And that was something that I felt I wanted to do professionally. I wanted to be a professional bowler. If you ask me what I wanted to do when I grew up, I wanted to be a professional bowler, and that was the end of it. My family we're all big bowlers, and I still am today.
Now, I saw an Adam Sandler video where he's singing about the lonesome kicker, and you're in there playing the sax. Can you play?
Not at all. That was fun. Adam, he's a great guy. He's a funny guy. I mean, his new movie is great. So he's a good guy. He asked me to do it, and I had fun with it. We had a blast with it, but I can't play the sax at all.
All right, now we like to have fun with everybody that comes in here. We call it our Rewind 5 questions. And the first one, you talked a little bit about it before, but what did you want to be when you grew up?
I wanted to be a professional bowler. I mean, as weird as that may sound, that's definitely what I wanted to do.
Okay, who is the most beautiful woman that you've ever seen that me and you both know who she is?
Oh, my goodness. Can we come back to that one?
Yeah.
We'll come back to that.
Okay.
That'll be the last question.
Favorite movie of all time?
Scarface.
Really?
Favorite movie. I loved it.
All right, what about favorite food?
Favorite food? I love all kind of foods, as you can tell.
Yeah,
I'm a food
you can put some away.
But my favorite food would have to be my mother's spaghetti. Oh, incredible.
Now, you've been featured on a few magazine covers yourself. What's the favorite magazine you like to read?
I like to read The Source. It's a hip hop magazine. I really like urban music and R&B and rap, and so I like to read The Source.
Okay, back to the favorite woman. Most beautiful ever.
The most beautiful ever?
Well,
maybe,
hey, you might as well go right for the top.
Sally Richardson was gorgeous. So I got a chance to see her. She's gorgeous, and I don't know if she's the best ever, but on top of my mind, she's comes up.
Hey, what about it, Sally? He could be the most eligible football-playing, bowling bachelor in the world. Give him a call. Hey, up next, we're going to have a little fun in baseball-crazy New York City. But first, let's open up our Where Are They Now files and check in on a former Steelers running back who carried the load before Bettis, but he never realized his full potential.
Welcome to the show. My name's Barry Foster. Let's see what happens.
23-year-old Barry Foster burst onto the scene in 1992 when he gained almost 1,700 yards for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He made the Pro Bowl that year and again in 93. But by the end of 95, he was out of football for good. What happened on his way to the Hall of Fame, and where is he now? Find out when we return.
Precision engineering. Performance that nails you to your seat. But enough about the high-performance computers Dell worked directly with Ford to build. What can we build yours to do? Call, and for just $19.99, we'll build you this Dell Dimension XPS with an Intel Pentium 2 processor at 350 megahertz, 64 megs of SD RAM, a 10-gig hard drive, an internal iOmega zip drive, and Microsoft Windows 98, a large screen monitor, 3-year limited warranty, plus 1-year next business day at-home service. The Dell Dimension XPS with an Intel Pentium 2 processor at 350 megahertz for only $19.99. Let nothing stand between you and pure performance. Be direct. Dell.
This young man is about to save a life. Would you know what to do? If you arrive first, have someone go for help.
Don't move. Hey guys, call for help.
Then, to reduce the risk of fire, turn off the car's engine. Don't take chances if a car is burning. And never move a victim unless it's absolutely necessary. Learn more in this free book from Shell. Count on Shell.
Need a muffler? Right now at participating Midas shops, the famous Economizer Plus muffler is just $29.95 for a limited time only. So get into Midas for a great muffler for just $29.95 before it's too late.
A good sweat isn't so good once the game is over. That's why there's Irish Spring Sport. It has an extra antibacterial ingredient that kills odor-causing germs better than regular soap. It's Irish Spring Sport. Play as hard as you like.
Dig in the wrong place and hit a line, you could be digging more than just a hole. Look for the warning signs. Let Dig Test help you locate buried facilities before you dig. Call before you dig.
Despite Foster's success, the Steelers took highly touted Texas Tech running back Bam Morris in the 1994 draft. Foster had a decent 94 season, splitting time in the backfield with Morris, but the Steelers dealt him to the Carolina Panthers, who cut him in August of 95. He signed with the Bengals in October, but quit the team after just 2 days, saying he did not have the hunger to play professional sports anymore. He retired at the age of 26 after playing only 5 years of pro football, and in the words of his agent, financially set for life. When reached at home in Colleyville, Texas for comment last week, Foster told Rewind he misses football and that he recently worked out with the Oakland Raiders. When asked if the opportunity arose, would he play again, he said he'd be open to it. But for now, he's enjoying taking care of his wife and 3 children full time. Oh yeah, now it's time for the best plays of the week. Check out the Rewind replays.
Deep to left field, and Orlando Palmeiro at the wall. Did he pull it down? Nope.
And that one is deep to center. Burks makes a spectacular catch.
Line drive.
Oh.
Great play by Castillo to Renteria over to first. Gets the ball up the middle, and they get the force at second base.
1-2 to the hole. Ordonez, can he get him? Yes, he did.
Line drive. First, and what a play. He pops it up. Over by the dugout.
Nice sliding catch, and Piazza goes all the way to the bottom step.
Swung on, hit high, hit deep, hit far. He's got number 51.
McGuire swings at a 2-2 pitch, and there is number 53.
Coming up next week, an encore presentation of my exclusive and candid interview with the San Francisco Giants' Barry Bonds. Bonds will talk openly about his career and his place in baseball history.
I just told myself I'm not going to hide behind it anymore. I'm not going to say that, well, I don't know, I'm the best left fielder. I'm not going to sit there and do that anymore. There's going to be a time where I'm not going to be the best anymore.
And don't forget to email us at rewind@foxsports.net. Now, as the pennant races heat up, there's no better place for baseball fans to be this season than in New York City, where there's a chance that both the Mets and the Yankees could make it to the postseason. Now, I decided to visit the Big Apple to see what pennant fever is really all about.
I took one look at you, and every dream came true. I could be...
Oh yeah, you know I'm in town. It's New York baseball. You're either a Yankee fan or you're a Met fan, and you're not both. You can feel the excitement in town. I'm gonna go find out what it's all about. Yankee fan or Met fan?
Come on, Pat, let's go on. I gotta say, Yankee.
Look at the iceberg! What's up with the iceberg? Jeez! Come on, Mets or Yankees, Murph? What do you say?
We have more parking. We're the Mets.
I'm a Yankee fan, but I also root for the Mets in the National League.
You a Yankee fan?
I'm both.
You're both? You can't be both.
Anyway, we're New Yorkers. We love each other despite the fact that this guy's a dopey Yankee fan and I'm a dopey Met fan. Exactly.
When the Mets play the Yankees, it's like Festivus in June.
Times Square. We're the first people in the history of the world to play catch in Times Square. You know that. Yeah, that's a sweet shirt, isn't it? That's a good shirt. You got your Yankee shirt on, your hat, you're headed to the stadium, and when you do that, you feel like you're the king of the world.
Nice hat.
Digging that?
Are you?
Huh?
I wouldn't be caught wearing it in this city.
I'm a Yankee now, but once upon a time, I used to be a Met.
How in the hell can you play both for the Mets and the Yankees? Can't you find a team out of town?
Who owns the Yankees?
George Steinbrenner.
Who owns the Mets? Time's up. Hey, check out the Met Club. Wonder if the boys are eating. Excuse me. Did you see Bobby Valentine eating in there?
Meet the Mets, greet the Mets. Come on down and meet the Mets.
Who's the best looking Met player?
You!
Me?
You!
I don't play for the Mets.
Derek Jeter.
Derek Jeter plays for the Yankees.
The Yankees got a good shortstop for me.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Bucky Dent? Yeah, he's pretty good. What about Nettles over at third?
He's all right, too.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Those guys can get it done.
Guaranteed to have the time of your life because the Mets are really sucking that ball, hitting those home runs over the wall.
I got a present for Mr. Met.
The METS Mets, the New York Mets. Now, you know I'm a Met fan if I know that stuff.
Oh, that is outstanding. Beat the Mets, sweep the Mets, step right up and kill the Mets.
Sorry.
Wow, bad temper. It's up to you, New York, New York.
I'm swinging on a star. You'll say I've gone too far. I should be crazy, but I'm not.
Sosa.
Oh, down about that, baby.
McGuire.
That's not coming back.
Chasing history.
See you later.
The stretch run for 61. We are there. Fox Sports News. Weeknights. Check local listings.
He's been broadcasting Major League Baseball since 1953 and is currently in his 14th season as the play-by-play voice of the Houston Astros. Hello again, everybody. I'm Fran Healy, and welcome to the Halls of Fame. Over the next half hour, we'll head to Texas and talk some baseball with Milo Hamilton.
Superstitious? It's a little bit strong. I mean, I do whatever I have to do to help out the team. Let's say you got a tie game, full count. Nobody's on. If I can eat a whole hot dog before the runner gets to first base, then he's coming home. Case of high-scoring games, Rolaids.
Rolaids starts to neutralize acid in less than 10 seconds, getting you back on your game fast.
Nachos, of course, are the key to a great double play.
Rolaids. R-O-L-A-I-D-S. Spells relief.
You know that grand slam last week?
Stell's first date.
I'm so nervous. What a beauty.
Quite impressive. No way, Stell.
Here you go.
Freshly baked, right out of the oven.
Hey everyone, there are birds in the bird bath.
I can't see. I can't see.
Excuse me, but I think you need a room with a view. Enjoy the outdoors by calling Rooms with a View. Compare and save 50% on the nation's finest solariums and sunrooms with payments as low as $98 a month. Call now. For a limited time. Every room gets...
For all fans of baseball. Some people who gather here are well known. We hope that all fans of the national pastime will be heard through the voices gathered on this stage, in this audience, and through the hundreds of messages sent to us on the internet for this town hall meeting. We are very pleased to have with us to help field questions and ask, if he so chooses, the President and Chief Operating Officer of Major League Baseball, Mr. Paul Beeston. Hi, Paul.
Joe, it's an honor to be here tonight, and I'm really looking forward to this. This is going to be fun, although I do feel the way you've set the setup, I do feel a little bit like the accused.
It's kind of like the dunce seat over there.
I wasn't liking that as much as the accused. I'd like a chance to defend myself.
Now, you are a guy who notoriously never wears socks.
Well,
usually has a cigar, never wears socks. Now you're wearing socks. Has New York changed you a little bit?
No, but there's an image change when I came to Denver, and I felt, you know, with the group that you put together here, that I should show a little decorum.
If you feel free, go right ahead. We have gathered a group of people who, in their own way, represent baseball's past, present, and future. We begin with a man many of you know as one of our nation's most famous political columnists. But George Will has spent a good part of his life writing about and following baseball. And if you don't think he's serious, he's a lifelong Cubs fan. He's the author of the bestseller Men at Work, and his current baseball book, Bunts, is available in bookstores now. Please welcome George Will. Hi, George.
Hi. Glad to be here.
Our next panelist might be the best